And we are live. I don't see anybody in the chat yet. Nobody talking their ear off. It's because we're recording on a different night. So
It is. It's tough. It's
if
a tough night.
if
It's all
there
good.
is anybody out there, please let us know how we sound. Kristen.
Yes, Kristen. let us know how we sound.
Is there anybody listening?
It's okay. It's one of the beauties of this format. We don't need anybody.
That is true.
We love having you out there, but
Yes.
the reality is that Jason and I will bullshit for 3 hours
Yeah, and I mean that's what we used to do before we started doing the video and the live YouTube and all
when
that.
we were fucking big loving.
Hey, Brady.
Yeah, I remember when we were doing like 2 shows a day.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then pretending like it was a new week.
It's like, so what did you do last week?
Yeah, well, how about what was in your week?
It was all tongue in cheek though. We
Yeah.
were never like 100% serious.
Well, we tried to in the very beginning, and then after that, I was like, "This is fucking bullshit."
Mm-hmm.
People have got to be figured this shit out.
Yeah.
Is this like Santa Day?
No, that was over the fucking weekend. That was like Sunday, and it was Santa Day. Like literally from morning to fucking evening. That motherfucker was like making the rounds, and it's
This is Halloween.
yeah,
is
yeah,
Halloween.
yeah. It just never ended. That was the problem. And I appreciate that. You know, my kids have always enjoyed that. This is the first year they weren't like, "Oh, Santa," So
They were like, "Oh, stop with the noise."
well, yeah, that's basically what it boiled down to that night.
It's
So
enough
or
with
day.
the
Or,
sirens.
yeah, it was all fucking day. Dragon Buddy,
Hey,
Ivo. Great meme today, by the way, Ivo.
yeah, that was good shit. That was good shit. The Bulgarian contingent representing in the Sidebar Cantina Fantasy Football League.
Oh yeah, no, he got me a really good chuckle out of that one. So
Yeah, first year that Kamara trade finally paid off for him.
yeah,
Right there at the end.
mm-hmm. Boy, are we gonna talk any fantasy after we go off the air today? Because
I think we have to.
there's some interesting things happened
I
last
think
night.
we have to.
Yeah,
The NBC fanatic has arrived.
NBC. Hey, Chantal.
NBC.
Non-binary conforming.
That could very well be a thing.
Or the NBC broadcasting.
So somebody at
National
work
Broadcasting
today, female, had she, I guess over the weekend lost her voice or whatever. So I asked her, hey, where'd you lose your voice? And she said something, and she's like, oh no, I'm getting the hormonal stuff to become a man.
Oh,
And so me and this other dude were sitting there going like, oh, good for you. And she's like, I'm not. I'm just kidding. We're like, well, what are we supposed to say?
Right.
Like, we have to fucking say, like,
yeah. You can't just like be like, that's a good one, because
Like,
if she's serious,
we're just like blink, blink.
then
blink.
it's like HR would like to speak to you.
yeah, exactly. It's like,
But she said it like totally straight. Just
totally fucking deadpan. So it's like, good for you.
That's
Jesus
good.
Christ. Yeah.
Fucking hilarious. Good shit.
Killing me.
All right. Let me go take a piss before we actually get started for real.
Do it.
And I'll be back.
Helmet Fire had the initials Tango India. I'm sure you can figure that out. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. This is stuck in my head. Oh my god. Or the title of today's show. Oh, Nightmare Before Christmas. Ah, okay. Is that a thing? Do people like call it that? The NBC thing? I don't know. Ivo G saying he's going to win it all. That would be pretty. Listen, I'll wait till he gets back, and then I'll make that comment. I'll save that comment for when he gets back.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
So I think that we have to, before we go live, and since Ivo's here in the beginning, because he very rarely hangs on till the end because it's so late where
true.
he is.
Okay.
If our our Bulgarian contingent wins the fantasy football trophy, I think he needs to have us on like a show in Bulgaria. Like, I think we need to somehow like be represented in Bulgaria in some sort of way.
Well, I will let him
I know it seems odd that like he would win and then we would like somehow benefit by I just think that I will definitely tell everybody I know that yes, a first year fantasy football player, in our league from Bulgaria won the whole thing.
Well, let's not start sucking each other's dicks just yet, because he's got a long way to go if he's going to actually win this.
I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there now, just in case.
Right.
Just in case, because if we can get some airtime somehow in Bulgaria, I just think it'd be pretty cool. Like, in Cyrillic, our names or some bullshit underneath this.
Okay, I mean, sure. Well, again, I'll leave those details to Ivo.
Right. Might have to learn something about, like, I don't know, F1 racing or something.
I'm past the point of learning anything in my life, so
yeah, I feel that.
Anything useful anyway. I'm filled with useless information, and I'm sure I have the capacity for more, but for useful stuff, no, probably not.
You know what? No, I'm not going to talk about that. I just had a thought, and I'm not going to talk about that.
Okay.
Not gonna work here anymore.
You've got your are we cutting out for anybody else, by the way? I got a text saying that we were cutting out. Pod keeps freezing.
Pod is freezing?
So let me know if anybody else is getting that problem. If not, then Luna Girl just needs to check her internet connection.
It's better now. Yeah, Ivo's in a testosterone-filled bracket, so it will be hard. I mean, I don't know why that would be any harder, Ivo. I mean,
he's in the me bracket. That's all he's got to worry about. If he wins, he plays me next week. So, and I'll actually start Dalvin Cook this time, motherfucker. He was supposed to be injured. He separated his shoulder a fucking week ago. He was supposed to be out. And then all of a sudden he comes back and he's like fucking Bionic Man.
Yeah.
It's like, what the
40
fuck?
fucking points. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Look, I don't even want to talk about it. I lost by 0.02.
I
0.02.
saw that.
I should be the number 1 seed.
You should be.
If I had started Derek Carr instead and got, you know what, look, I didn't deserve to win, honestly, because the difference in my starting roster would have been between Heineken and Derek Carr, and that's the difference between somebody getting me 4.3 points and somebody getting me 7.3 points, so it was a shit show either way. So
don't apologize to him. Don't
Whatever.
apologize to Dave. He doesn't
Whatever.
deserve that.
It is what it is. I had a first week bye, and I will take it.
Yeah, so we secure the top 2 seeds. That's all that really matters.
I'm going to say that I had a hell of a comeback from how I started this fucking season. I'm super happy that I'm in the first round bye. So
hell yeah.
Anyway,
don't call it a comeback. He's been here for years.
I have indeed.
All right, we about ready to get this thing rolling?
It's
This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
1700 on the dial.
All right.
1701.
But, it's your toast, by the way.
I knew that. And I have one prepared.
Good. And then you've got your Red 5 read already?
I do. I have all the read stuff.
All right. I got this or that queued up.
Ready to go.
So we're ready. It's like we're actually prepared for tonight.
Ready? Are we really ready?
Baby, I'm ready to go. Yes, do it.
To Bob Dole.
Bob Dole. Bob Dole doesn't like this.
So, I guess it was
It's like 2 weeks ago
It's
now.
almost 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
But I wanted to bring it up last week, and it slipped my mind. I'll blame the concussion. Bob Dole passed away. He was a political staple, for us growing up. Somebody through the 80s, is that, Bob Dole this, Bob Dole that,
Mm-hmm.
kind of anecdotal in a lot of things, kind of, was made fun of himself a lot. For me, he was representative of like my grandfather's generation, the greatest generation is people that were, the true heroes of what they did in a war, the sacrifices they made. Basically would have been the same age as my grandfather if my grandfather had been alive to see that age. And it was, it's the guy. Hello.
You guys are not on right now.
What do you mean we're not on?
Chantal said to refresh it. In and out of black screen. Dragon Buddy sees us. Good to go here. Just refresh your page.
Anyway. Like, hello?
Bob Dole doesn't like this.
Bob Dole, what's happening? Anyway, audio to audience won't.
No,
get
they're like,
any of
what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah,
We're having some YouTube
whatever
issues.
It's a podcast.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Honestly, like my knowledge of Bob Dole was not very prevalent until he ran for president against Clinton in, what was it, 96?
it was 96.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know shit about Bob Dole before that. Didn't even know he was a person.
I met him in 96.
Oh, yeah?
So I was working at the Philadelphia International Airport for American Airlines in 96. And when they were campaigning, I got to meet Slick Willie and Bob Dole because when they came into Philly to do their campaigning, Bill Clinton, when he landed Air Force One in Philly, I was part of the group that they cleared to go and like be there to pull the air stairs up to the airplane and everything else.
Somebody had to take care of the plane.
Yeah, so I think I might have told that story on the pod before, but I was the guy. I got to stand in the middle of the fucking ramp, right? And I was the guy that basically was the colonel's going to park on me. Like I was the mark to park the nose gear on.
Mm-hmm.
So I just stood there in the middle of the fucking ramp. And the Secret Service was like, don't move. Just stand there. Like, okay. Air stairs pulls up. Fucking Clinton comes down the stairs and fucking, walks right over to me, shakes my hand, fucking get a picture, blah, blah, blah.
Fucking sweet.
So Bob Dole, when you're the candidate, when you become the presidential candidate, you get basically an airplane as well. It was a 727. It was this all-white 727. And we parked it as well. Not as much fanfare, smaller Secret Service detail, but you still get this detail. And he was awesome. He just was like super, super affable. Elizabeth Dole was a little bit... she was kind of like, little... seemed maybe she was a little jet lag. I don't know, but he was super, super cool. And again, it was a reminder of it just reminded me a lot of my grandfather. So his passing, the guy was, when you see him standing there, didn't have the use of his right arm, but still went to the people that he was competing against and running against in these presidential races and senate races and argued with in across the floor, as this longtime senator, and going to their funerals and respecting them. And this is what a politician should be. It's a shame. And those people are going to be few and far between anymore. So
yeah, indeed. But he was 90 something. So he lived a pretty damn full life. So,
apparently they're just clicking.
I don't think there is. I think one individual is having problems.
No.
I have no idea. Anyway, That all being said, hello everyone, and welcome to the Sidebar Cantina, the podcast where we talk about Star Wars, pop culture, our favorite holidays, or whatever the fuck we feel like talking about.
Or clicks.
I'm Mr. Jason Roskam. With me here each and every single week, the Christmas to my Halloween, Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
I'm trying to think if Christmas is better than Halloween. Which, yes, obviously it is.
Well, yeah, you've always not been a fall guy,
I'm not a fall guy.
so that's why I picked Halloween for me.
Very good. I appreciate that.
And what are we talking about today?
Well, we're talking about a Christmas movie.
Is it a
called-
Christmas movie?
Well, it's debatable.
Well, we'll get into it
However,
when we talk about
It has Christmas in the title, so we'll go with it. It
Okay.
says, it's The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes.
A fan favorite for a lot of people.
Yes, a movie which, by the way, until last week, I had never seen.
Right.
So,
So this is going to be very, very interesting to see how you... Actually, I'm not going to lie. I'm really, really surprised that you hadn't seen this.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious as to how you're going to be at the end of this, like where you are on the like meter for this movie, because I have my own personal ideas of where I think you should be with this movie.
Mhm.
So I'm going to see. I'm curious to see how close we are on it.
yep. So, we'll get there, but we have a ton of business to get to before we get to that.
Yes.
So, why don't we start with some Red 5 talk?
Oh, Red 5. We are Red 5 Network. You can find
Is that a new thing? Like, instead of we are Penn State, we are Red 5?
No, but we should make that a thing. Lunar Girl. Write that down.
Yeah. Put it in your notebook of justice.
Yeah, and put it here in the notes that I'm going to read. For our Red 5 top stories, which is how it's represented here, we want to wish a very happy 5-year anniversary to WSTR Media. 5-year anniversary. Very cool. As well as congratulations on your 250th episode. We are on 225, so we're nipping at their heels.
Yeah, we're hitting 5 years in May.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
WSTR celebrated last night with a 2-hour episode, which shit, the 2-hour episode for us is like, anyway. The chat was full of Red 5 love and good times were had by all. WSTR Media, that's awesome. 5 years of doing this. Look, there's a lot of things that don't have longevity more than 5-6 episodes, and they crap out. So being able to do something like this, we can totally appreciate what it takes to maintain that level of longevity and put out a quality product. So good for you guys. Congratulations on 250 episodes in 5 years, and keep doing it. You guys are doing a great job. We'll talk more Red 5 stuff after the show, but you can find if you want to find more shows on the Red 5 network, I'm going to give you an address. You can go to bio.link/Red5 and you can find all of the Red 5 shows. And I would cut and paste. Lunar Girl says we keep clicking and freezing.
Yeah, I don't know. We're having some issues with the YouTube. Some people are telling me that we sound and look fine. Some people are saying that we don't. We're just gonna keep going because
It's the audio. I don't want to interrupt the audio for the thing.
yeah.
But-
And again, the audio listeners are like, fuck it.
Shit, we don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, press.
Is that everything for Red 5?
Yes, for now.
All right. Okay. Sorry, I'm still looking at text messages. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but we're just gonna keep pressing because we got a lot of shit to get to.
Yep.
Hopefully everything unfucks itself.
Yeah. Also, yes.
So we do a segment on the show every week called This or That, where our social media director, Luna Girl, puts up a poll. She gives you 2 options, and we go over the results here on the show. And, oh, by the way, what is our Instagram, Dave?
Damn, I thought we were going to go with it. At the Sidebar Cantina.
That's right. So, obviously, The Nightmare Before Christmas being apparently a Christmas movie. We'll see. We'll talk about that. We're talking about different Christmas movies. So, this first one, already I'm angry with our followers on Instagram. It's Home Alone versus Elf.
Okay.
How could anybody pick something other than Home Alone? I don't get it.
So, read how the question was phrased.
Okay, you still laugh over this movie.
Right.
Whatever.
So if you're answering the question, Elf is more of a comedy.
Home Alone isn't? Dude's getting smashed in the face with irons and paint cans and stepping on fucking rusty nails, and that shit's hilarious.
It's a different kind of movie. I mean, look, Home Alone is Home Alone.
Yeah.
Like Home Alone is up here.
Mm-hmm.
Elf is here. It's up, but Home Alone's up here. You can't really compare the two things, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, but I can see how some people are more into Elf. There's probably a generational thing.
Yeah, like Gen X, man, Home Alone was our shit. I saw Home Alone in fucking theaters. My family, and we're going to talk about it when we talk about Nightmare Before Christmas, we were not a going to the movie theater kind of family.
Right.
So seeing something like this was very special, and Home Alone was a special experience where
Yeah.
my mom took me and my siblings out, and we actually fucking saw this. Then we bought it on VHS, and we watched it every fucking year. And
I mean, let's face it. If you ask me, like, hey, here's this movie that has John Williams soundtrack, and here's whatever else, this thing with the John Williams soundtrack is going to probably win.
Mm-hmm.
So
there is some heavy debate in the chat right now about Elf
Yeah.
versus Home Alone. Like, this is like, people are drawing some fucking battle lines here.
yeah, you know what, and I can.
Well, and the Instagram poll results even show that, because Home Alone only won 56% to 44%, so
Yeah.
it was close even on Instagram.
Honestly, it's two really different movies.
Yeah.
It really is, and it's honestly, I think that you could have a debate on whether or not Home Alone actually holds up.
And that's a whole show topic in and of itself.
Yeah,
probably.
I mean, if you're sitting there watching Home Alone, from a suspension of disbelief point, and does it hold up currently? It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
So moving on, ranking Bass favorite. I don't know what that means, but we've got the old stop motion animations, the Rudolph versus Santa Claus and something or other.
Rudolph.
Yeah, you got to go
Rudolph.
with Rudolph. That's
It's
a fucking classic.
That's a classic.
And it's been a classic for decades.
Yeah, I gotta go with Rudolph.
And Rudolph won 75% to 25%.
Yeah.
Then we've got The Santa Claus, the Tim Allen classic, versus Christmas with the Cranks. Full disclosure, have not seen either of these movies.
Really?
Yes, but I went with The Santa Claus because I've come around to Tim Allen over the years, and
The Santa Claus was actually good. My kids enjoyed it, and I like Tim Allen. I was
see, I fucking hated Home Improvement.
Yeah, see,
I
like
refused to watch a lot of Tim Allen movies because I fucking hated Home Improvement so much growing up.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I liked Home Improvement. I was relatable to a lot of those things.
Yeah.
A lot of just dumb, just testosterone-filled idiocy.
But I really grew to like the Buzz Lightyear character, and yeah, over time Tim Allen kind of grew on me.
Yeah, coked up Santa.
Yeah, like especially like it was probably Galaxy Quest, honestly, that like finally like made me appreciate Tim Allen as an actor and not hate him so much. So, but anyway, the Santa Claus won 88% to 12%, so it was a pretty, handily won victory. This one, I'm shocked this was as close as it was. Christmas Vacation versus Scrooged.
You don't have like.
Yeah, we don't have to ask Dave. You don't have to ask me either. Christmas Vacation, by far. Dave has one of the sacred pops up there of Clark Griswold.
Got an FYE exclusive
and
Clark Griswold pop
not
this year.
Yeah, not to take anything away from Scrooged. I love Bill Murray. I think he's great. I saw the movie once and was entertained by it, but it's not like an annual tradition. I wouldn't watch it more than once, kind of a thing.
I know every fucking word of that movie.
Scrooged or Christmas Vacation?
Christmas Vacation.
Oh, yeah.
I know every word.
And a lot of people probably do.
Yeah.
And again,
I know that movie so well that when a particular voice in the movie we're going to talk about today, with Nightmare Before Christmas, I recognize that voice because of, Christmas Vacation.
We'll have to talk about that because I'm not sure what you're talking about. Anyway, the last one, your favorite, it's not a Christmas movie. Gremlins versus Die Hard. The fucking Die Hard is a Christmas movie. That will not die. That is like a meme that is going to last until our generation fucking dies off.
It's
I think.
Hilarious. With just It's just funny.
And I mean, that's another show topic in and of itself.
Well,
like, is
obviously,
Die Hard a
and
Christmas movie?
We have fellow Red Fivers that have done that as show
Oh
topics.
yeah, the Escape Pod guys.
Yeah, and
Who, by the way, are also talking about Nightmare Before Christmas tomorrow on their
Well,
show.
I'm glad we're doing it first.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, realistically, I'd love to hear their perspective on it. And
Sure,
everything,
absolutely.
So, and you should too. So
Yeah, absolutely.
listen to the Escape Pod tomorrow.
Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, a little late for my blood, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Where's Tunnel? Yeah.
Anyway,
I had
Gremlins
something
versus
for
Die
you.
Hard.
Gremlins, I forgot about the Christmas time frame of Gremlins.
Yeah.
I really did. But you think about it, the whole thing, why is he's Christmas shopping?
Yeah, even the
when he buys
soundtrack
it.
is very Christmassy sounding.
Yeah. I it made me think of like this particular part of this or that made me think about Gremlins as being a Christmas movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah, and I loved Gremlins growing up. Like that was a favorite of mine as a kid. But I had to pick Die Hard just because.
Yeah.
Like, it's Die Hard, and it is a Christmas movie. Sorry to break that to some of you people out there. Apparently, Dave does the Mogwai voice as well. So,
Oh yeah. I was all over it.
all right. And did I say the results? I said the results, right?
I
Anyway,
don't remember.
Die Hard.
I was
60
making noises.
Die Hard 68%, Gremlins 32%. So Die Hard won. And that was this week's This or That.
Yes, at the Sidebar Cantina for Lunar
Instagram.
Girls on Instagram. Yeah, do it. Do it.
Yes. Before we get into our weeks,
It's Tuesday. Fucking
right after we recorded last week, or maybe like the day after, this new fucking bit of Star Wars thing came out. We've been getting like these weird trickles of like fucking Star Wars information over the last couple of weeks. And last week was a Star Wars episode. And then right after we did that, this fucking trailer for the Star Wars Eclipse video game came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw it, and as I'm watching it, I get a text from you being like, "Have you fucking seen this?" So it was pretty wild. It's a very high production value CG video. There's no in-game footage at all.
Right.
But you can tell they put a lot of fucking time and money into this thing.
yeah.
So it's supposed to be some sort of like an action adventure Star Wars game set in some other fucking,
Well, it's this new. It's not First Republic. What the hell is the new book series?
Oh, the High Republic.
High Republic,
Yeah, it
thank
takes
you.
place in the High Republic
First
era.
Republic, like the bank. No,
The First Republic of the galaxy.
Yes, High Republic. So it's this High Republic era,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of makes me want to. I will say that watching this makes me want to get into I have the second book in the series and I haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
And it makes me want to read that a little bit sooner than later. Although I have the Ronin book that I kind of want to read before that.
Yeah.
Because that seems like it would be more interesting, even though it's not canon. But look, it's taking place in an era where it's going to be canon. So it's exciting to have a game that's going to be canonical and whatever type of gameplay it's going to be.
Right. Which again, we haven't seen any gameplay at all of this thing. All we've seen is this fucking trailer.
I really feel like it has a Knights of the Old Republic feel to it.
Potentially. And again, they put a lot of fucking money into this trailer. Like you can tell. They went all out. So you would think that they believe in this game if they're going to put enough
And
into
it was what? It was Lucas Games or
Lucasfilm like
Games?
Lucasfilm Games, I think, is like this new brand because before, like every video game after Disney did the buyout, every video game that had the Star Wars fucking logo on it was an EA game. EA had secured the exclusive rights to make Star Wars games, which was whatever. They released the Battlefront 2015, which we cherish.
Yes.
Then they released a bunch of garbage. So Lucasfilm started this new side thing where
No, that's debatable. Not everything has been garbage.
yeah.
Battlefront 2 is not. It's not great, but I won't completely be dismissive of it. It's just not contrast theory, right? Compared to 2015,
Yeah.
it's not as good.
The campaign of Battlefront 2 was good. I
Right.
enjoyed the campaign.
It was
and
nice to have.
I would have liked more of that.
It was a great storyline.
Yeah.
I think we all agree on that.
Yeah.
And for one, enjoyed the. Why can't I remember the name of things right now?
It's Tuesday. We're all fucked up. We normally record on Mondays.
I'm in this like fucking weird quantum shift where I don't remember anything. The game with the redhead and the fucking the droid.
Oh, fucking Fallen Order. Jedi
Yeah.
Fallen Order.
Yeah, I actually that game was not bad. I would like to see more of that. Like it was just a straight like, hey, I'm just gonna play through this story.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that world kind of get bigger.
Sure.
Like, especially since I'm going to talk about a little bit, playing this Mass Effect game, I'd like to see kind of that develop into something like that.
Okay.
Where you have like this crew-based thing where now you can go into this more open world.
Okay.
But I also like Titanfall 2, which is the same developer. So
right.
Anyway, this game has a lot of potential to get people into the High Republic.
Yeah. So
storyline.
Yeah, but either way, if you haven't seen this trailer yet, just Google Star Wars Eclipse or put it into YouTube. Really, really interesting looking trailer. Very well done. But again, no gameplay details up to this point.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to bring that up because that came out like right on the heels of our last episode.
Yeah, Backyard Titus or
Backyard Titus.
There's a guy in the squadron whose last name is Titus. I'm sorry. Backyard TARDIS says that Lucasfilm Games is a licensed logo. This is a Crystal Dynamics game.
Yes. And they're a pretty reputable developer, Crystal Dynamics.
And BYT goes on to say they're usually pretty but decisive if the gameplay is good. It's not for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, what is, though, these days?
It's tough, man. It's really tough. Sometimes it has to be, like, if it's going to be aesthetically pleasing, I think that's half the battle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do we love Battlefront 2015 so much? I think if it wasn't so aesthetically pleasing, then I don't think we'd enjoy it nearly as much.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that the Battlefront 2 lacked. It's just, for some reason, aesthetically, it pulled back just a couple of knobs. Where it just came back just a little bit where you noticed it.
And it felt more like a video game than an immersive experience.
Yeah.
Whereas Battlefront 2015, really felt immersive, and you felt like you were in that like original trilogy
like
setting.
When you're walking by like shit like ice formations and you're looking and you're seeing all these little details of like the fucking ice formation and moss and fucking shit like that.
And they nailed the music, they nailed the setting, everything.
Yeah, so
But anyway, we've blown Battlefront 2015 enough. Anything else before we get into our weeks?
I will say, and this again, Backyard TARDIS, thank you so much. All the Red 5 podcasters who are reading High Republic that I asked didn't recognize anything from the trailer. So
okay, so it's all kind of new content.
Yeah,
but still based in the High Republic time frame.
So good. I'm all for it. The more Star Wars, the better. It means longevity for our beloved franchise.
Our little baby's growing up.
Yeah.
All right. So getting into our weeks really quick. Well, I don't know how quick this is going to be. I've got a shitload of stuff, and I had to cut stuff from my week too because there's been a lot going on.
One extra day, and Jason suddenly has this awful week.
Yeah. So first of all, and I texted you about this already. When we did our episode about the Beach Boys, specifically the Pet Sounds album, like, my research and my love for that didn't end with that episode from 2-3 weeks ago.
Right.
Again, love fucking Pet Sounds. And I'm doing a lot of like YouTubing, like going into some more of the background of it. And all of a sudden I come across this trailer in all of my YouTube searches for like Pet Sounds and the Beach Boys and things like that about this movie called Love and Mercy from 2015. I'm like, what is this? Why did this come up in this search? Never heard of it in my life. Reputable actors, Elizabeth Banks, fucking John Cusack, Paul Dano, very well-respected actors. I'm like, what is this? And what does it have to do with the Beach Boys? I watch it, and it's a trailer about fucking Brian Wilson. Yeah, Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
Over like 2 different eras in his life. One, when he was producing Pet Sounds and when he was involved in the whole creation of that. And then also in the late 80s and early 90s when he was going through a lot of fucking mental problems. He was under the care of a doctor who was basically taking advantage of him, which is kind of relevant today if you're following the whole Britney Spears thing and her whole conservatory and all that shit. You know, Brian Wilson was in the exact same situation, probably worse. In the,
I'm curious to how many of our listener base is following the Britney Spears thing.
I'm no Britney Spears super fan at all, but I see the fucking articles all the time. Which,
True.
by the way, I am thoroughly convinced she's batshit crazy because I've also looked at her Instagram. Yeah, there's probably a reason why she had, you know, this conservatorship.
Sure.
But regardless,
there's a lot of fucking crazy people.
yeah,
and that
and the entertainment industry will do that to you. Like, I don't blame her. I blame the fucking situation she was put in. And yeah, like, you can't expect a fucking kid to get thrown into that fucking world and then come out of it just completely normal.
Right.
So all the sympathy in the world for her.
Right.
And same with Brian Wilson. And you know, he was in this conservatorship with this fucking psychiatrist who was taking extreme advantage of him. And that part of the story was about Elizabeth Banks, who became his second wife, and how she like broke him free of that situation. But it also had these flashbacks to when he was creating Pet Sounds and the subsequent albums after that. And it was so fucking good. This movie was incredible. And it's called Love and Mercy, if I didn't bring that up before. I fucking love this movie.
Yeah, it was like a 2017 movie, right?
2015, I think.
15.
Yeah, and
so it was a few years ago,
right?
And completely under my radar too.
Yeah, I had never heard of it.
Yeah, when you texted it to me, I'm like, huh.
Yeah, and it's free right now on YouTube. YouTube does this thing where they will have movies, like full length, real legit movies for free on there, sometimes with ads, but they do have those, and it's one of the free movies on fucking YouTube right now. And I watched the whole thing after I saw that trailer, and I absolutely love this movie.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but you know, just based on your review of it just now and the fact that we just last week did a podcast about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
get out there and watch it.
And it goes deeper into the production of Pet Sounds and all that. Oh god, it's so cool. And then it also goes into the turmoil between Brian and the rest of the band and the record company, because Pet Sounds was not a successful album at the time.
Right.
A lot of people considered it a failure sales wise. And their follow-up single to that was Good Vibrations, which, they needed more of a like hit type of song.
They needed a normal Beach Boys album.
Yes, but you can still see that Brian Wilson, wanting to expand his horizons influence in Good Vibrations, to the point where I've gone onto my Apple Music, which we're going to talk about that later when we talk about The Nightmare Before Christmas. And, I threw on Good Vibrations and I'm listening to it and I'm like, oh, I get it. Because if you listen to that song, you listen to the fucking, the instruments going on in the background, even like the vocal arrangements and everything, you're like, oh, this is pretty fucking wild. Because you think Good Vibrations, it's just like a poppy Beach Boy song, like not much to it. But
there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, especially if you understand the background of, him doing Pet Sounds and that being like his baby, and then kind of everybody else sort of shunning him after that. Like, no, we're not doing this anymore. And him still wanting to, grow as an artist, but kind of being confined into this, like, no, you're going to make a pop album, you're going to make this pop record, and it's going to sell millions, and just fucking do it, bitch. So, so good. But I've been listening to Good Vibrations over and over again, and Kristen's getting pissed. She's like, that fucking song again? I made her listen to it like twice last night. Good Vibrations. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, yeah. A fucking great song. So
if he plays Good Vibrations one more time.
Kristen is in the chat right now, by the way, commenting on this. So again, if you're not subscribed to us on YouTube, you're missing out.
It's fucking great.
So also, Jason and Robert went to White Castle this last week. So my
Right.
son Robert, I talked about this a couple weeks ago. He turned 19, but because I know, right? Fuck.
Crazy.
Because I worked over the fucking weekend after his birthday and everything, we didn't get to do his birthday dinner. And his tradition has been he likes to go to White Castle for his birthday.
Right.
And it's become a tradition, except we didn't go last year because of COVID. As we were researching it last year, they had no indoor dining. And this place is an hour and 10 minutes away from where we live. Because there's a White Castle in Toms River, New Jersey, which is the one we go to.
Right.
And so we didn't go last year because I'm like...
Which is the Harold and Kumar one.
Well,
allegedly.
No, in Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. The White Castle was in Cherry Hill, which is in the town we're sitting in this fucking second.
Yeah, but it's not...
Right, but it wasn't like really in Cherry Hill. But anyway, Rob loves to go to White Castle for his birthday. And honestly, despite the fact that it's an hour and 10 minutes away, I love making this trek once a year. just because it's fun. It gives me and Rob, and Ben's been going with us the last couple of times to just, to have some bonding time in the car and just kind of enjoy it. And I don't know. I like it. It's weird. Normally you would think, why would you drive an hour and 10 minutes just to get fucking greasy, tiny burgers? But it's fun. It's just become this weird thing with us.
Listen, I fully appreciate that, because I'm the type of person. Kathy and I would get in the car and we'll drive to the fucking shore to get a slice of pizza and back.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like we've literally driven to Cape May for lunch, and Cape May from where we live is easily an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So we'll drive all the way down there, get a slice of pizza or something, like go walk around on the beach for a little bit and drive back.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
And we'll make that drive just to be able to go down there. So totally worth it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a fucking drive. It's part of it. You get to talk and you're isolated, and it's part of it. So I totally appreciate it. And people shouldn't be be afraid to do shit like that just because it might be a little bit further away.
Right. A little inconvenient,
Yeah, we have this thing called this. We have this level of modality that is unprecedented, to be able to travel as far as we can. So just because something is a little more than an hour away, what's really funny is so my daughter living in State College, right? For me, I've now normalized a 3.5 hour drive.
Right.
So anything that's outside of 3.5 hours, then that becomes a long drive.
Right.
But anything shorter than that, I'll do in a day. I'll do that round trip in a day, and I won't even think about it.
Mm.
So that's like almost 8 hours of driving easily. And it's hard. It's hard on my body.
Oh, sure.
But I'm not intimidated by to drive because I've normalized it because I've done it so many times.
Yeah.
So it's, people just gotta go get out there and fucking do it.
Yeah. And this White Castle thing, this is something that I hope that 10, 20 years from now, he and I are still doing,
Yeah.
Come his birthday, he comes over and picks me up, and then he drives us both to White Castle.
Yeah.
I kind of hope that this is something
And
that
if God
continues.
forbid that one closes, you drive however far you have to go to get to the fucking one that you need to get to.
And I think I told the story here on the podcast when he dragged me to Hoboken to go to the White Castle up there when we were at some convention up in North Jersey.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's fun. It's a unique thing that he and I have together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fucking great.
Anyway, moving on because I still got more bullet points. Halo Infinite came out last week.
Yes.
The newest Halo game. We talked about Halo.
Used and Abused was interested to hear how what your thoughts were.
Right. So I've only played through the first 2 levels.
Okay.
But it's free on Game Pass, the Xbox Game Pass, which, I don't know who wouldn't be familiar with it. If you're an Xbox person, you should be familiar with Game Pass at this point.
Right.
It's a monthly subscription service that you pay, but you get to fucking just play this whole library of games for free. And Halo Infinite was a day one Game Pass game.
Right.
So as long as you're subscribed, you get to fucking play it as much as you want. So obviously, I'm going to download it to the Xbox X, and I'm going to play it. It was fucking beautiful. The gameplay was hard. I put it on the second from the highest difficulty. So it was very challenging gameplay, but the game itself is fucking beautiful, but also very familiar if you're familiar with the Halo series.
Right.
So far, over the first 2 levels, I'm really, really enjoying it, but it's just a matter of having the fucking time.
Yeah. No,
'Cause
it's time.
That's the biggest issue. Speaking of time, guess who just signed 3 more years of his life away to the U.S. military?
Not me.
No,
it's not me.
No, it's the guy you're looking at right now because, I just went through my whole re-enlistment process last week to sign up for another 3 years for some fucking reason.
You're a glutton for punishment.
Yeah, that's true. So once this next 3-year enlistment is up, I will be just short of 30 years of military service, which is crazy to think about.
That's bonkers, man.
Yeah.
We're not old enough for that.
You would think so, but yeah. And in the chat, Bronco Fett's like, why, Jason? Why? Again, glutton for punishment, like Dave said.
Yeah.
And they pay me pretty well. I'm pretty high ranking, so I have a lot of say in what goes on in my squadron. So that kind of helps. And there's one more rank I want to make before I retire.
Dangling that carrot in front of them, just dragging them along.
And if I make that rank, then once I'm all done, this guy will not work again unless he wants to.
There you go. Yeah. It's a good place to be.
Indeed.
It really is.
So that is that. The last thing I have is this right here. So
This that nobody can see except me.
you can't see it, but there is a massive red and green tote, which is kind of fitting,
Right.
Christmas and all that.
This is Halloween.
This is Halloween.
Oh, wait. No.
So my lovely wife, Kristen, who I love very much, is part of this Facebook group in our local Cherry Hill neighborhood area. I think it's called like the Buy Nothing group. It's basically people just trade shit, or if they have stuff that just like this fucking TV is like taking up room in my house, I'm not going to use it. Does somebody want this? Right? So it's a Facebook group where people are like, I have this shit. I don't want it anymore. Somebody come and fucking take it.
Right.
So, and she's gotten a lot of really good stuff from that, and she's given away a lot of stuff on that too. And I highly encourage anybody, like, get involved in your local neighborhood giveaway groups.
Yeah, absolutely.
And apparently, like a month ago, somebody was like, I've got this tote full of Star Wars stuff. Does somebody want it? And obviously, Kristen put her name in. And I guess nothing happened for a while. Like, she never heard from the person. She was like, oh, she must have given it to somebody else. But then last week, the lady reaches out, oh, did you still want this stuff? Sorry, I'm a little behind. And she's like, well, yes.
Fucking
She's
ain't
like,
right.
She's like, all right, I'm leaving this big red and green tote outside my house. Just come get it. And she's like, okay. And here it is.
All right, let's
so
see.
we
Let's
have
see what's in this thing.
more Star
My
Wars
God.
stuff. First things first, like this is like the crown jewel of the whole fucking collection. You can't really, well, you can't see it on the audio, but the YouTube people can easily make out the Naboo. What is this called again?
The Nubian.
The Nubian. What's a Nubian? Shut the fuck up. But yeah, no, it's the Naboo, big fucking fancy
Big
craft
silver
thing.
fucking ship of justice.
Yes. Which I think this was Palpatine's ship, right? Anyway, well, we know that Padme was flying on it at one point during
They
the...
put American flag stickers on
Yeah,
it.
they put American flag stickers on the front. I don't know why, but yeah.
America.
So, again, we've got another massive fucking vehicle that we have to figure out what to do with here on the show.
I wonder if it's to scale against the Millennium Falcon.
Probably. Because the Falcon's pretty big, too.
Yeah.
So,
We need to.
in addition to that, we got the Naboo Starfighter,
Nice. On.
which is about the same scale.
Yeah. On top of what is that?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Probably makes noise or shoots something or...
Gotcha.
Then it's got a shitload of these miniature sets. Oh. So, yeah, this is like a Naboo castle kind of thing. So they came out with a lot of these like Micro Machine like mini sets. It's got a shitload of those in here. And then it's also got a bag full of figures. So if you look at this bag of figures, like at the bottom, there's a bunch of the minis. There's a Slave Leia in here, by the way.
Fucking hell.
One of the very few Slave Leia toys you can find anymore. And then a bunch of other action figures just spread around in there. I see an Obi-Wan. There's a clone trooper in there that looks pretty fucking awesome. It's a Revenge of the Sith era storm.
There's a
clone trooper.
fucking. There's a. There's like heads that I guess contain the minis.
Yep. So, a ton, like just a treasure trove of good Star Wars shit. But most of it is all prequel era stuff. In fact, I think it's all prequel era toys, which is fine.
Why is there a random Slave Leia? That seems weird.
It was part of a Jabba's palace mini playset.
Okay.
Because it's like a tiny thing. It's so small.
Penis so small.
So, yeah, good job, Kristen,
Yeah,
for
fucking A.
finding this fucking treasure trove of Star Wars shit. And now we have even more Star Wars stuff that we have to figure out what the fuck we're going to do with it.
We need to honestly, between the two of us, we need to take a day of leave, and all we're gonna do is lock ourselves in here and fucking
Just
rearrange.
rearrange the whole
Yeah, because
studio.
the Sacred Pops are
The Sacred Pops!
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So, that's pretty much been my week, or at least what I'm going to talk about today. So, how about you?
So what do I do this week? We had our squadron holiday party was last week, which was actually a good time. Military holiday parties are weird events because there's like it can go one way or the other. It can be an event that people are just sitting there like, oh, I need to be seen here because people are expecting me to be here, or it can like actually be really fun. I've been super, super fortunate, and we've talked about this on the pod before, that I've had really, really good commanders since I've been a civilian over there. And this year was no different. The party was a good time. It was a 70s theme, right? So Kathy and I, actually, while we were in State College, we did some Goodwill hunting. I didn't mean to make that, but we did Goodwill hunting and found some 70s style clothing. Like I looked like I was a 8th grade fucking geometry teacher.
So
Right.
I saw the picture that one of you two put up
Right.
on social media,
Probably
and I'm
Kathy.
like,
I haven't really posted
I'm
anything.
like, are they in costumes? Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand. Like,
Oh yeah, I had this like hideous orange shirt with this classic 70s tie on.
yeah,
I had a flat top hat on just because I can't not wear a hat.
yeah. I was trying to make heads or tails. Like, what are they doing
Yeah.
right now? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, so there some people, like my commander went fucking balls out with his fucking costume. Let me show you a picture here.
All right.
Just bear with me for a second. This is he took this selfie with me and texted it to me. And we had these. There was a lot of guys that are just like people were in costume, and it was fucking great. They had they did a drawing, I guess, where people could put names in. I guess you could put tickets in to have your name drawn to be Santa. So myself, the commander, Helmet Fire, who's in the chat, and another guy, Vickers just, I think, sent another picture. It was another one of the pilots. Like, basically, our names were the ones that were put into the hat. So we got selected. We kind of go in the other room, and the commander went eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and picked this other dude, which he was brilliant at being the Santa, because the Santa he had this like cheap red Santa suit that he put on and fucking went over and pulled the raffle tickets, and he did it in character and did a really good job. Me and Vickers were like, no, we're not. I wasn't drinking. it was a good time. Don't get me wrong. I got on the dance floor and embarrassed myself because Kathy wanted me to. But it was a good time. And always, it's tough being in. I hate doing things in public, but it's like anything else. Once you get out there, you're glad you went. But it was fun. Really good time. Mentioned the Mass Effect game,
Yes.
right? That's all right. The
Truncate silence will take
truncated
all that
silence
out
will
for
take all that
the
out.
the audio people.
Me thinking again. I'm quantum fucking spacing is off. So Mass Effect, right? So they were talking about it at work, and I guess there was a deal with it was on Game Pass, but you could also buy it like cheap. You get like Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Like this legendary edition, kind of like they did with the Master Chief edition.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Mass Effect game.
So they like took the original games, repackaged them, maybe did like an HD upgrade.
I don't
kinda
know
deal.
if I couldn't tell you if they did an upgrade or not because I never saw the original games. So maybe, but I was playing the first one for a while, and it's like a role playing game.
It is, yeah. Well, it was made by the same people who made Knights of the Old Republic, BioWare.
Okay.
The Old Republic, that same company,
Yeah.
they made the Mass Effect
It's
games.
actually I stopped playing the first one. I kind of jumped into the third one. Just because I'm like, you know what, I'd rather just get closer to what a better graphics engine.
Sure.
And that one's even 2012, but the graphics are still really good.
I still think the graphics on the first one are good because that was
Yeah.
an Xbox 360.
Yeah, it is. Don't get me
Thing.
wrong, it is good. I'm actually enjoying it. I can see putting time into it because it's such a it's like Old Republic, you know. It's like here's these little side quests you can do. Here's this like open world where you go and you jump to these different places within the galaxy.
Right, and that's the thing too. Like, a lot of people compare the setting of this to like a Star Wars type of setting because you're dealing with humans, like exploring the galaxy, finding other species, and
Right.
all these inner conflicts and everything.
Yeah, I'm actually enjoying it. So, yeah, it's your fault, Helmet Fire.
Yeah.
And he did say it's an HD upgrade, but yeah, I'm actually enjoying it, and when I have time to do it, because that's the problem with these games. It's just like with Old Republic and everything else. Like, you have to be able to sit there and play out a particular scenario, and
Yeah, you have to dedicate a lot of time to even like just knocking out chunks of the game. You still have to sit there for a while.
Like, am I doing this in the right order? Like, because I'm like, oh shit, in the back of my head there's like, it's a timing thing. Like, oh, do I have to do this now? But so it's weird. It's a weird balancing thing, but I could see myself playing this out for a while, and I have no idea, like, because this is a new game for me. This was never in my awareness before.
Yeah.
For this game, so I don't know if there's a new one coming out or.
Oh, there's a bunch of games in the series. There have been like super disappointing games that people said it was like one of the greatest games of all time. So it's everywhere on the spectrum as far as Mass Effect games, and I think there's like 4 or 5 Mass Effect games out there right now. So yeah, there's no shortage.
Interesting. Last thing I had on for my week, I got a phone upgrade.
Nice, because you had that shattered fucking screen phone for the longest time.
I did. So my wife, being the amazing person she is, she worked it out so I could get a new phone, and my daughter got my old phone and we repaired the screen. Went to one of the places in the mall. Which, sidebar, like, that actually was fucking way easier than I thought it was going to be.
The whole process of swapping phones and repairing screens.
Well, that too, but like, we live in this world now where, like, back in the day when you had a cell phone thing, like, it was you had to move heaven and earth to fucking get your contacts moved over. And,
oh yeah.
Like, changing from, all right, I'm going to go from this phone to that phone. Now, I fucking took the phone, took it to the mall. Like, I already had it unlocked or whatever. Right, handed it to the guy. He's like, okay, this will be ready in 20 minutes. 15 minutes later, it had a brand new screen on it. Right, I
Nice.
took it to the house, took the SIM card out of her phone, put it into this phone, and it was done. Fucking
like that.
done. And she fucking synced up her contacts to the cloud and it was fucking there. When I got this phone, I put it near the other phone, and it fucking set itself up. Like, near it, like here, right here. I'm just gonna do this.
Yeah.
And it was fucking done. I'm like,
Technology is
It's-
crazy.
mind blowing. Take it for granted sometimes. Yeah, and I'm getting to that age where I'm recognizing that I'm taking stuff for granted, I guess.
Well, and again, we're gonna talk about that when we get into the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah. It's remarkable. I haven't even had a chance to fuck around with this phone.
Yeah. Looks nice.
I'm really looking forward to the camera.
I was gonna say I'm jealous of the camera.
Look, I have a big Canon camera. I have a big DSLR. I'm not replacing that technology with this one because it's two completely different things.
Sure.
But when I have an opportunity, like, I'm the type of person that if I see something, I wanted to get a picture of it right then. If I see an opportunity to take a picture, I want to be able to take it. And this is going to give me the best chance of taking that picture right away, as opposed to having
to lug
having my setup
Yeah.
with the other camera. So that's what this does. The 13 Pro with its macro options and everything else. I mean, it's awesome.
I'm still on my 8.
Yeah.
So.
And it's worth it.
Oh, I'm sure it is, but
it's
one of those things where I'm gonna keep riding this one until it just fucking dies,
Yeah.
and then I
I wouldn't
hotness.
I wouldn't have this unless I had. It was a congruence of things, right? My daughter's screen was broken on hers. My screen was broken, and I've been dealing with it. And my wife was like, we had all the phones have been paid off and everything else, or like we had upgrades available and blah 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 blah. And so yeah, so it worked out. So early Christmas present for me. Actually, I think this was my anniversary present. Ends up being this,
Nice.
which is close. So anyway, that's it. That's all I had.
All right. Well, I think we're going to take a very quick break,
Yeah, I would agree. I think a break would be appropriate.
but then we're going to get into our main topic, The Nightmare Before Christmas, when we get back.
NBC.
The NBC, yes, as Chantal told us.
Yes.
Not what I originally thought it was.
Not
but
the non-binary
conforming. Yeah. No, it was not that.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Which makes sense, since that's what we're talking about today.
Or the something broadcast company.
National Broadcasting Company.
Is that what it is? National Broadcasting Company?
Pretty sure. Yeah.
Probably.
Like ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
Is that what that stands for? Yeah. You know, I have a FCC radio operator license. You
So
think
do
I would know this?
All right. We're going to take a very quick break and be right back with our main topic, The Nightmare Before Christmas, after this quick word from our sponsors. Do you want to go first?
No, you can go first.
Gotta keep those love good vibrations a happening with her. Gotta keep those love good vibrations a happening with her. Oh, love that song.
I wish I could whistle. Let's not hate on Walmart too much. Nick and I both, we have Walmart exclusive pops that are arriving really soon. So we need those pops to show up before we shit on Walmart. Kristen's head exploding somewhere with good vibrations. Good vibrations. But I can appreciate hearing it too much. I really can. It's just like all the Beach Boys Christmas stuff. Like, it's good. It's good stuff. But you can hear it too much. That is a thing. It's definitely a thing. So it could be worse. There's some weird sounds, like mechanical sounds and good vibrations, like
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, but it's good though. It's good the way that they arranged it and everything.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so let me tell you all a quick story. Keep those loving good. So this is a little bottle of Fireball whiskey. We're at the liquor store yesterday, and we're waiting to check out. And this guy ahead of us is like, "Do you have the little things of Fireball?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, like right over there." And it was like a little bottle, but it was like maybe, I don't know, a third larger than this for like $3. And he's like, "No, I don't want that. I want the smaller ones." And he's like getting really irritated. And over in that same area was like 10 of these, like shrink wrapped in a package, allegedly being sold together. And he's like, "I want one of those." And the guy's like, "All right, well, you can open it up." And it was $1.50, something like that. But it was really awkward. Like the guy, like kind of arguing with the cashier, and he made him fucking open it just so he could buy one of these fucking $1.50 mini bottles of Fireball. So I kind of felt bad. So when we got up there to pay for my beer, I'm like, "Can I get one of those too?" And the guy tries to sell me. He's like, "Oh, we sell them in 10 packs." I'm like, "No, you just open one. Just let me have one of those." So I was like, "Okay, $1.50. But I thought it was weird. The whole situation was very strange. But because I felt bad that the guy was giving the cashier a hard time, I'm like, well, since you already cracked it open and he took fucking one of those things, let me take one too, just to add it onto my order. So now I have a little shooter of Fireball, which I'm going to drink for you right now. Not the whole thing. I'm just going to take a swig, as the kids say.
Because you need it on top of that 10%.
10% fucking Merry Monkey beer. God damn. Which we've consumed Fireball here on the show before, and
yeah.
it's something. Keeps those good vibrations happening.
Good vibrations.
Ba, 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 ba.
You used to be able to hit those notes.
I think you still can.
Good. It's not such a random sidebar because we will be covering
Oh yes,
the James Webb launch.
Yeah, not next week's episode, but the episode after that. We're going to talk about the launch. We're going to go into like the details of James Webb. We're going to go into the history of Hubble.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about the Hubble telescope and kind of, the background with that. But honestly, the James Webb, man, this could be one of the most important moments in human history.
Fact.
Like, if everything goes as planned and James Webb gets in fucking orbit and unfurls and everything as it's supposed to, the things...
All the knocking on wood.
The things that this telescope can possibly discover.
Yes. Don't shoot your wad yet.
Yeah, I know. Let's not start sucking each other's dicks just yet. But, all right. We ready to get to it?
Yes.
Goose? All right. Then I guess give us a countdown and we'll get going.
All right. Stand by.
Gotta keep those loving good vibrations are happening with her. Gotta keep them. Kristen's gonna fucking kill me tonight. And we're back. So, The Nightmare Before Christmas. Movie that came out in 1993. And the release date alone is enough to get into because we kind of hinted at, is it a Halloween movie? Is it a Christmas movie? Is it both? Whatever. Released October 29th of 1993, which honestly, to me, was brilliant. Because again, we're talking the early 90s when movies would stay in theaters for a few months at a time.
Right.
So why not fucking release this movie that's sort of a hybrid between Halloween and Christmas right before Halloween and then just fucking ride it for the next 2 months as you're going towards Christmas and everything.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, the Disney... I think it's safe to call this thing a cult classic. After all of the research I've done, talking to people... It has a very dedicated following for a very non-conventional Disney movie.
Yes.
And that's... Well, go ahead.
I don't think... It wasn't originally a Disney movie. I mean...
Well, Disney's always owned the rights to it.
Has it really?
Yeah. Because if we want to just jump into it, Tim Burton worked for Disney as an animator in the 80s.
That's right.
And at one point, he wrote this poem that was like the basis for The Nightmare Before Christmas. It had Jack Skellington, and he sold this to Disney. Originally, his idea was, because he was inspired by the Frosty the Snowman and the fucking Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, those old stop-motion animation Christmas movies that we're all very familiar with at this point. He was inspired by that, and he originally sold it to Disney, the idea as... We'll make this like a 30-minute stop-motion animation movie for current times, for the 90s, as opposed to these, like, I don't know, when was fucking Frosty and Rudolph made? They were...
Oh, God.
Those are old school, but still entertaining.
Fuck yeah.
But, as kind of a modern take on that stop-motion Christmassy kind of movie. And Disney, they bought off on it. And again, Tim Burton was working as an animator for them at the time, so that probably made the sell a lot easier, which there's probably a whole... backstory about that alone that we could probably go into. And the fact that he was fired by Disney in, I think it was like 84, and then he went on to make like all these successful movies, and they're like, oh, hey guy, remember us? You used to work for us?
Yeah. Hey, we kind of like you. We kind of like what you were doing. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about that stuff we talked about before. Nah. It's funny, you talk about the release date with the right before Halloween.
Yeah, like 2 days before.
Home Alone was released November 10th.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and again, it makes sense because it's a Christmas setting, so... Right. And back then, movies stayed in theaters for fucking ever. So if you're going to release a movie that takes place over Christmas time, you probably want to get it out before Thanksgiving, so it's got time.
And honestly, they were probably ahead of their time, because you think about it, like now these days, like fucking Halloween is the kickoff for big box companies to fucking start their Christmas bullshit.
Right. But at the same time, a movie hits fucking theaters, it's in theaters for like 3 weeks, and then already they're like, okay, and then it's coming out on streaming in fucking, 2 more weeks from then. So
Sad face.
it's very, very different. It's a different landscape to the point where now COVID sort of fast forwarded the whole process of movies being released like the same day on streaming services. So there's a whole other dynamic going on with that as far as like movie releases and everything else. But to me, releasing right before Halloween was fucking perfect at this time.
Absolutely.
So the
Christmas movie.
yeah. Me personally, if we're going to go ahead and just like talk about this now, I say it's both. I say it can be either. You can enjoy it during the Halloween season. You can enjoy it during the Christmas season. I think it's from October 1 to December 31st. You can enjoy this movie and not feel guilty or think you're watching it out of season at all. But that's just me, in my opinion. Had a budget of $24 million, which was pretty decent at the time. I mean, we're talking early 90s. Ended up pulling in $91 million at the box office. And like I said before, having a massive cult following. Right from the get-go, people really gravitated towards this because, again, they gravitated towards that Tim Burton style. And that's, even though Tim Burton did not direct this movie, which blew my fucking mind when I found this out, because I always assumed, until last week when I started watching the movie for the first time and doing my research, I assumed this was a Tim Burton joint, which the characters are his, the stories are his. He produced the movie, did not direct it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Okay, he didn't direct it, but this has Tim Burton fucking all over it.
Oh, yeah.
I
Even
mean,
as somebody who was very familiar with Tim Burton but had never seen this movie, I see his influences everywhere.
oh, yeah. No, there's no question that this is a Tim Burton joint.
As somebody who has seen movies like Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands,
Yeah.
the original Batman, many, many times, you see those influences everywhere throughout the course of this fucking movie.
So, it's just sidebar real quick. The Dragon Buddy or somebody in the chat had posted something about Edward Scissorhands and Christmas. And I'm trying to think.
I'm pretty sure part of that movie took place over Christmas.
So yeah, it's Dragon Buddy, Christmas, Edward Scissorhands Christmas movie. Edward Scissorhands was released December 7th, 1990.
Okay. And
Right before fucking Christmas.
one of those few movies that my family actually saw in theaters. I remember my mom taking me and it might have been my sister to go see Edward Scissorhands in 1990 when it came
Did not
out.
see it in theaters, but I distinctly remember seeing it. It was one of the first run VHSs that my parents went and got in the brown fucking case back in the day.
So,
Interesting.
the movie was actually directed by a guy named Henry Selick, who was also a Disney animator at the time. So he worked with Tim Burton. And while Tim Burton was kind of selling this, somehow he got this guy Henry Selick on board to be the director, because Tim was, at this point in 93, Tim Burton had made Batman, Batman Returns, Beetlejuice, fucking Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Edward Scissorhands. He was a hot fucking commodity in So Hot Right Now.
Baby, we can be hot, so hot together.
Yeah. By 93, like, everybody was looking for a piece of Tim Burton. So he only was able to act as producer and kind of writer of this. And he didn't even write the final screenplay. That was given to somebody else. But again, like you said, Tim Burton, his DNA is all over this fucking movie. He just shot his DNA like in every fucking scene. So
again, the chat distracting me. Read this out of context. A beloved Christmas movie has a water gun that shoots jelly, a caboose with square wheels. Nothing makes sense anymore. Oh, and I want Charlie in a box. I mean,
yeah, good stuff. So anyway, the story was by Tim Burton. Production on this began in 1991, so it took over 2 years for this movie to get completely made, because it's stop motion animation. Yeah.
California Raisins, like on steroids.
Indeed. Before we get any deeper in this, let's talk about our history a little bit. we've already alluded to, I had never seen this movie
Right.
until last week when Kristen and I sat down. And even she was kind of surprised by the fact that I had never seen this movie.
Right.
Because she loves it. Kristen loves it. She really enjoyed this movie the whole time it's been out. And it was a weird thing because when this came out in October of 93, I was 16 years old. And around this time, in the fall of 93, I had gotten a job working for a dry cleaners in my town. Yeah, Sparkle Cleaners in Bakersfield, California. And I was working my ass off for these guys. I worked every single night and like every Saturday for this fucking cleaners. And I was busy as shit. Also, this is the kind of movie that you would take like a date to when you're in high school. You'd take a date to or something like that. Didn't have a girlfriend at the time. So, again, nerdy fucking sophomore year Jason.
Right.
Not really, rolling in the vag.
Right.
And so I'm working a lot, don't have a girlfriend. I knew of this movie. I had seen all of the promotional material for this movie. I thought it was a very interesting concept. I knew who Tim Burton was at this point. I knew the themes and everything, but never really had an opportunity or desire to go see it then and there. And then over the years, it just kind of never circled back until fucking December of 2021.
Fucking. How many years later?
Well, so it was released in 93, so we're just short of 30 years
Jesus Christ.
for this movie. Yeah, so 28 years old this movie is. And it was just one of those things. It just kind of never was the right time for me. And at one point, it got to a point where it's just like, what's the point now? You know?
Interesting.
So, yeah, I never watched it until last week. But I remember all the promotional material for this. I remember seeing the trailer for this. Probably when I was going to see another movie like fucking Home Alone or something in theaters. And seeing the whole, the parents walking up to the kids. So what did Santa bring you this year? And he pulls out the fucking severed head.
Yep.
And I thought that was the funniest shit. But I never had a chance to go see it with anybody. Because none of my friends wanted to go see that.
Right.
So a bunch of 16-year-old guys. Yeah, we all fucking wanted to like drive and have a job and do things.
Right.
So it just was never the right time for me. So that's really it. And we'll get into my thoughts and feelings as we go farther in. But what about you? Like,
I saw this. I did not see it in theaters. Again, theater experiences were few and far between.
mm-hmm.
About the same reasons. I did not have a job. I participated in a lot of athletics and other after-school activities, which prevented me from, really having any free time to do shit like that.
Yeah.
So,
Which was kind of the same with me and having a job.
yeah. So I'm with you. I remember the promotional material. That was like, that was the beginning of my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
Was it October 93? Yeah. October 93, it was the beginning of my senior year. Like the first few months of my senior year. So
yeah, so me for junior year.
Yeah, I was thinking about so many other things than, what was these going on with these movies. That was actually, no, that was like a few days after my 18th birthday.
All right.
So, yeah, weird. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't see this movie for the first time until my kids were old enough to really like want to see it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was something we were living on base. I remember seeing it for the first time. How I don't remember if we had it on a DVD, maybe. I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah.
And I just was kind of tacitly watching it in the background, but I knew of it from so many other people that what this was an alternative, like, Christmas narrative.
Yeah.
And it, like, you talk about the cult following this,
Mm-hmm.
and really what it was is like people that weren't necessarily into the traditional like ho 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 Santa fucking narrative, with this jolly green guy or jolly fucking Santa guy this alternate Christmas narrative was way more enticing and darker.
And that's fitting for our generation,
Yeah,
right?
it's-
That's Gen X to a T.
Yeah.
The outcast, the guy in the tower by himself, just
not quite the goth, but like almost there, just kind of like hey, we're isolating ourselves from this, and I'm not into your fucking I'm not into your fucking ho ho hos.
Yeah, getting disillusioned with where you are now too.
Yeah.
Right?
Like every year it's the same fucking thing, and I'm looking for something different, and look what's over here. Look at all these people being happy.
What's this? What's this?
Yeah, that's what it's been. It even rewatching it, which, full disclosure, like rewatching it, I rewatched it in pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that's fine. I mean, it's one of those things too. It's such a weird experience.
Yeah,
it's one of those classic, because it's a musical, right?
It's a musical.
Yeah, which that was one of the things that kind of, not that kept me away, but it also kept me from really wanting to push to watch it, because 1993 Jason Roskam, not a big fan of musicals.
Right.
Especially musicals when there is far more singing than dialogue, right? Because you get a couple of different musical types, right? You get the ones where it's primarily dialogue. Every once in a while, the cast would break into song. I think of like Grease as like a good example of that, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's a majority of it is actual humans talking to each other, but then every once in a while, it could be Grease Lightning. We get some Motorhead lifters, so. And
no, I don't, Jason. Continue.
Keep talking, keep talking.
Right.
So anyway, I've distracted myself. Whereas this is one of the other kinds of musicals that I really have never had much of a taste for in the past, where it's primarily singing and very little dialogue.
Right.
Very little actual humans talking to each other, or creatures talking to each other. But I think it works in this movie more than any other that I've seen. A good example of that kind of movie is Rent. You ever seen Rent?
Unfortunately.
I don't dislike it. In fact, I like some of the songs in Rent, but I don't like that style of storytelling where it's very little dialogue and almost all singing throughout like the whole 2 hours of the fucking movie.
Yeah.
So, and you get that with this, but I think it works so much better in this kind of an environment, in this like fantasy type setting.
I think it all depends on the story.
Sure.
As somebody who's, quite frankly, who has been in musicals that have been done both, where it's been all singing or have intermittent dialogue, I guess. It really depends on the story that it's trying to tell. And this, I think it does work, although I think, I don't know, I wasn't like a huge fan of some of the repetition in it, like with the songs. I'm kind of skipping ahead, but I was more a fan of the aesthetics of this movie, than I was the music of it.
Yeah, and that's when
I will say not necessarily the music, because I know we're going to talk about the music.
Oh yeah, we're going to get into Danny Elfman here in just a minute.
I mean the musical, let's say. I was way more into the aesthetics, and the music was pleasing, but the musical element of it itself was a little bit more repetitive than I particularly like.
Okay.
If you're talking about you want to sing a story to me like Phantom of the Opera, Phantom is one thing, and this is a completely other.
Yeah. And we're touching on it. Let's just talk about Danny Elfman and his contribution to this, and really Danny Elfman in general. Like, him and Tim Burton kind of go hand in hand. They're like peanut butter and jelly at this point in. Yeah, I saw that too. Dragon Buddy mentioned in the chat, by the way, whenever he hears Rent, he thinks about Team America. AIDS. We all have AIDS.
AIDS.
Yeah. But anyway, pivoting away from that.
I can't wait to do Team America. It's going to be fucking...
Fuck yeah.
It's going to be the greatest episode we've
Coming
ever done.
again to save the motherfucking day.
Yeah, America.
Fuck
yeah. Freedom is the only way.
Terrorist.
Your day is through. Gonna have to answer to. I like how dry fucking the air as I do it.
Okay. let's talk about Danny Elfman,
Fuck yeah.
please.
So lick my butt and
Suck on my balls. Fuck it. This is why we can't deal with the chat.
That's why it's called the Sidebar Cantina.
Right, because that's all we do. That's all we do is we go into sidebars.
Yep.
Which I've got like several sidebars coming up, by the way.
Oh, I know.
So
It's not a sidebar if it's planned.
True. Danny Elfman, him and Tim Burton, Peanut Butter and Jelly. They've done so many things together, and I kind of forgot about Danny Elfman for decades, right? Because, like I said, I watched a lot of the Tim Burton movies, Beetlejuice, fucking Batman, Edward Scissorhands. I was familiar with the Tim Burton style, and I was familiar with the Danny Elfman soundtrack that would go along with all of those. Fucking Pee-wee's Big Adventure. We could have a whole fucking episode discussion about that, and how, as a kid, my perception of that movie is so different from my perception of it now.
Right.
Holy shit. But anyway, you know, the Danny Elfman soundtracks that go along with these, they're very quirky, right? We talked about it before we went live. I look at Danny Elfman as almost kind of like a quirky John Williams. And I know there's nothing that can compare to John Williams.
Facts.
Period. End of story. But if you sit there and you listen to some of these Danny Elfman tracks, they're really fucking good. There's a reason why in the fucking the Family Guy Star Wars, they referenced.
That's Robot Chicken, not. No, we're pointing
either way.
We're pointing to the wrong thing.
They can't see it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But you know, they mentioned when John Williams was fucking John Williams. The rest of the movie will be done by Danny Elfman. Yeah. So, but there's a reason why they made that comparison, because he has these grand sounding soundtracks, and you hear that in the soundtrack for Nightmare Before Christmas, and it's really fucking good. Like, he is a great composer and musician and singer.
Yeah, he's singing in a lot of this.
Well, every Jack song is sung by Danny Elfman.
Right.
I didn't know that going into this until I started doing the research. The guy who does the Jack dialogue is a different voice actor than the guy who's singing, which is, again, Danny fucking Elfman.
Yeah. No, he's super talented, and you know, we poke fun at him being second to John Williams, but that's, if you're second to John Williams in something as far as musical score, that's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Like, you're right up there. And you think about just even in the Batman movies, like, it has to be quirky with the tone that they're trying to give with those particular movies.
Yeah, but
I think Danny Elfman gets Tim Burton better than anybody.
Yeah, of course.
I think that's the only way that works.
Yeah. You know, funny story, as I was researching Danny Elfman, you know, he did the fucking score for 50 Shades of Grey, which I'm like, what? Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. But I listened to it. I listened to one or two of the tracks. I'm like, oh, this is actually very good. Never seen the 50 Shades of Grey movies, thank God. But like, I'm listening to the score that Danny Elfman did. I'm like, that's actually really fucking good.
That's funny.
Yeah. Very, very strange. But again, super, super talented musician.
Yeah. It's nice to listen to elements of something that's John Williams like.
Yeah.
In a different way.
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
it is different. You can hear that difference. Like, again, the quirky John Williams, as I call it. So sidebar 1. You talked about like how spoiled we are with technology when you were talking about your phone and everything. I know we've talked about this before on the show, but again, I can't stress how crazy of a time we live in when, if you have, like, say, an Apple Music subscription, and it's not just Apple Music, there's like 2 or 3 others that have like pretty much the same libraries. But as I'm getting ready for work this morning, I'm like, oh yeah, we got the podcast tonight. I've already watched the movie a couple of times. I wouldn't mind just listening to the isolated soundtrack. So I pick up my fucking phone, go into Apple Music, type in Nightmare Before Christmas, boom, album is right there. I go, add to library, download all tracks. 20 seconds. From the moment I thought about it, it's on my fucking phone, ready to be listened to.
Yep.
That is insane if you think about the way that we fucking grew up.
Yeah.
Like, having to, like, know somebody who had the fucking CD, or actually going out and spending $15 when you didn't have a fucking job or have any money of your own.
Right.
And to go and get this, where it's like, now it's like, oh, I think I want to listen to this. Boom, boom, boom. Now I have it. Within seconds. of wanting to listen to it. That is unprecedented. That is something that I think kids today will never fucking understand. Having everything at their fucking fingertips, just having this kind of access.
Yeah, this is our thing with this technology, right? Like our previous generations probably all had something, right? Like the radio, like appreciating the radio when
Sure.
it first came out, you know, shit like that. For us, this is probably that.
But I think music was such an important part of our lives as Gen Xers.
I think too that it's going to be very, very difficult to make a technology jump that similar to what we did in
Yeah.
over a couple of decades,
Mm-hmm.
comparing to what we were doing with magnetic tape, commercially distributed, right?
Mhm.
Because a lot of what people take for granted is some commercially available technology that wasn't necessarily available to the public for sale, like what we can have retail now in the late 90s to what we have now, like with these supercomputers in our pockets.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you'll ever see that level of technology.
That kind of a leap, yeah.
I mean,
Like it's going to be all just like slight improvements
Yeah.
on what we currently have.
it would literally have to be, you'd have to find a semiconductor with such a different property to change how we compute. Like you'd have to, like the materials would have to be different for what we're doing.
Right. Well, like really, like the next evolutionary step from there, like because if we keep going the way we're going, it's just again slight upgrades along the way. Like yeah, slightly faster computing, slightly faster internet connection, but like the next big leap is like fucking implants in our goddamn brains.
Well, and that's the thing. Like how do we get this 3 pounds of meat to be optimized? Because really, this is the fastest computer that you can possibly have.
Yeah.
Right. Because honestly, as fast as this thing could be, it's only as effective as fast as you can make this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, how do you make those equalized? And there's so much out there, but even that, from where we were to where we are now, I just to make that leap, bananas.
Yeah.
It would be absolutely fucking bananas. And if they do that, if to say in 20 years. Right from 19, like what are we talking about right now? We're talking about a movie in 1993, and we're listening to compact discs, right? Because CDs were still a thing,
Right. I had a CD player of my own for like just over a year at this point.
So we had CDs. We were still watching VHSs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We had CD players, right? So you're still talking about magnetic tape.
But
You're
yeah,
talking about,
we
like-
still had a lot of cassettes too. Like I still had a shitload of cassettes at this point.
So you're talking about that technology going from that to fully digital, like all this SSDs and like these LED fucking screens with supercomputer technologies in the space of fucking 28 years, 30 years. Like in 30 years when we're fucking in our mid to late 70s, if it goes even further than that, I don't have the imagination to think of what that would look like.
And you know what? I don't think we had it either back then. Like if you had told 1993 Dave and Jason, like, hey, what could you possibly think of as like a music revolution or a revolutionary way to deliver music? There's no way we could have thought of like the internet, streaming, any of that stuff. So
No, it's bananas. It really is.
yeah. So I just felt like as I'm doing that this morning, I'm like, wow, this is fucking crazy to think about in the context of 1993.
Dude, I've been doing that shit all the time. Like, I think me and Nick were talking about it today. It was like when I was doing something. Like I just can't get over how good these machines are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me get into a sidebar that's going to get let's
A sidebar to the sidebar.
Let's get into a
section.
sidebar that's going to get me in trouble.
Sure.
So we'll qualify this as a fucking Dave rant.
Okay.
So I'm watching football, right, over this past few weeks, and the Google product, they're going to have this Google Pixel 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's, it's supposed to be the fucking best, whatever, blah, 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 right? So there's a part of this fucking commercial, right, where they say that the Google Pixel 6 is going to be the most inclusive phone that they've ever produced, right?
Inclusive.
The most
like
inclusive fucking phone, right? And then 2 beats later, they proceed to have some, representation of the LGBTQ community, right? Look, I support all of that, right?
Right.
People have they 100% have the right to be whoever they want to be. Like, I support that 100%.
And I don't think anybody even
This
questions that.
fucking machine is not inclusive. There is nothing about this machine that's going to be programmed to not be fucking inclusive.
Yeah.
If it is programmed that way, that's because Google programmed it.
Yeah.
Not because there's some fucking communist tyrant that's saying, I want this fucking thing to be this machine is going to be bigot.
Yeah,
This is a bigot.
I can't
Siri's
imagine.
a goddamn bigot, Like, I don't know why you would have to do that except for blatant fucking marketing.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. That's what it is. When you're blatantly fucking marketing the fact that a fucking machine is suddenly inclusive, how is this machine going to be inclusive? How is this device and using this device is it going to make you more inclusive?
Well, again, because we're talking about Google, right? So obviously when a gay person opens up their iPhone, they're like, oh, you're gay. No, you can't use me. Fuck you.
It's infuriating every fucking time. I'm talking to Nick today about it. Like, even just talking about it, as fucking pissed I am right now, I get pissed just thinking about it.
Yeah, that's
because
so dumb.
There are ways to fucking benefit this community. That is not one of them.
No.
And not to use it as a blatant fucking marketing technique about a goddamn machine being inclusive. No. It's just like saying guns fucking this thing, if I used it to fucking kill Jason, it's not because this is a death device, it's because I fucking used it to kill Jason.
Right. Guns don't kill people, I do.
Yeah, it's fucking infuriating. It's infuriating. And every fucking football game, they have that commercial on. Every fucking commercial break, I got to see this Pixel 6 fucking commercial.
Yeah.
And I want to fucking just, oh God, I want to fucking just rip things apart.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm so fucking tired of it because it can't be. This is not.
Yeah, clearly the Apple,
right?
The iPhones are fucking transphobic and homophobic and everything.
Obviously. So if I want to support that community, then I have to get a Google Pixel 6, right? That's what they're implying.
Oh yeah.
And there's a bunch of fucking sheep idiots that if they get 1 or 2 fucking just enough people to fucking see that and go like, oh, I'm glad that the Google Pixel 6 is so fucking inclusive. I'm gonna go over here and fucking do this. No, you fucking morons. I hope the thing melts in your fucking hand and blows up in your fucking face because you're a fucking moron.
Yeah, I agree.
Ugh! I'm done.
So Danny Elfman, he made a lot of movie soundtracks.
This is Sidebar Cantina, folks.
It's our thing. It's what we do. I don't even know what else to say about Danny Elfman and even Tim Burton. Like we've kind of like touched on all of their stuff that they do. Oh, again, if you're not subscribed to us on YouTube, you're really missing out on some of the great interactive chat. So, all right, why don't we get into the movie, right? We've sucked Tim Burton and Danny Elfman's dick enough in the course of this episode. Let's talk about the movie.
Yep.
I loved it. I really, really enjoyed this movie from start to finish. I see why it has such a big following.
Yeah.
And I took 2 pages of notes. I could have taken even more. We can talk about some of the notes that I have if you want.
So I want you to sit here and think about what voice, thinking about the cast, what voice do you know is from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
See, I don't know, but I did immediately recognize a lot of Tim Burton mainstays. Right? Because Tim Burton, of course, this was before Johnny Depp and everything. Well, he had done Edward Scissorhands before this.
He did.
But this was before Johnny Depp and fucking Helena Bonham Carter did every fucking Tim Burton movie.
Right.
So neither of them are in this fucking cast, which is amazing for a Tim Burton movie. But for one thing, fucking Otho from
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Yep.
The portly
Right.
sidekick of what's her name?
Highly deadly.
Yeah, he is the mayor. Yeah, Catherine O'Hara,
Yes.
who plays Jeremy Jones's wife. Jeremy Jones, right? The guy who was in Ferris Bueller.
Oh my fucking names? What?
Yeah, no, but Catherine O'Hara, she is. She was the wife.
How about
in...
fucking Kevin's mom?
Or yeah, Kevin's mom, Kevin McAllister's
Jesus
mom from fucking
Christ.
Home Alone, right? Kevin. Yeah, she was Sally in this. Like her voice, like immediately struck me. Same with Otho, who was like her best friend in fucking Beetlejuice. So
Right.
obviously we're getting a lot of Tim Burton mainstays. Fucking Paul Rubens was Locke in this, one of the 3 fucking little shithead kids. Yeah, because Paul Rubens, Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yep.
Again, an entire episode we can dedicate to that
Facts.
at some point. Yeah, no idea who the Christmas Vacation voice is though.
So it's the doctor. Is
Oh, the-
Lewis. It was an ugly tree anyway.
Oh, the old guy.
Yeah. At least it's out of its misery.
That's right.
Grace.
Yeah,
They want you to say grace.
and
the
that was
blessing.
and that was Sally's
Grace.
creator.
Yes.
The fucking the evil doctor
She passed
guy.
away 30 years ago.
Holy shit! Yeah, I totally missed that.
Should we put Kate on the show?
Oh, is she calling you?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hi, Kate. You're on the show.
That's where you are. Okay, see you when you get home.
All right. Love you. Bye.
Love you, bye.
In her defense, we normally record on Mondays.
Well, and
so,
she's home. And
okay.
but she is home, and I told her that we're taping tonight.
Yeah.
So she just forgot.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Anyway.
No, I totally didn't even realize that. But now that you mention it and you bring it up, I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I get it.
I read again from watching Christmas Vacation so many times. That voice like jumped out at me.
Mm-hmm. So something else. We talk about the soundtrack, right? I threw on the soundtrack this morning, listened to it as I was driving to work. Do you know like what the changes were between the movie soundtrack and what we actually saw in the movie?
No.
First of all, the narrator. We have a narrator at the start of the movie that kind of introduces Halloween Town and everything.
Mhm.
I don't even know who the fuck it was in the movie. But in the soundtrack, on the movie CD, do you know who it was?
No.
Patrick fucking Stewart.
No shit.
Jean-Luc Picard himself, Professor X,
Huh.
in the movie soundtrack that I listened to this morning. When I pull it on, I'm like, that's Patrick Stewart. I don't remember hearing his voice when I was watching the movie. And I do some research and no, he recorded his dialogue for the movie, but somebody in the powers that be decided, yeah, we don't want his voice because again, this is 1993. This was pre-X-Men, pre-anything else. So the only thing Patrick Stewart was really known for at this point was Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Right.
And I guess somebody decided like, no, let's pass on him and do fucking somebody else for the narrator.
Somebody else who, as we sit here right now, we have no idea who that person
Right.
is.
I'm looking at IMDb and I don't see narrator anywhere. So somebody in the chat, help us out. Jamie, look that up. But yeah, Patrick fucking Stewart was the narrator. And there was an epilogue to all of this in the movie soundtrack that, again, was being discussed as an epilogue in the movie that never made it to screen. And it was years later, like 10 years later, Santa comes back to fucking Halloween Town and visits Jack. And he's like, hey, man, you remember fucking 10 years ago when, you know, you hijacked Christmas and everything?
Uh-huh.
And, you know, it was this really interesting dialogue between the two. And Santa's like, you know, if you could go back and if you could do it all again, would you really do all of that the same way? And Jack looks at Santa and he goes, wouldn't you? And it was such an interesting interaction. And I had no idea that existed until I listened to the soundtrack. And, you know, it talked about Jack having like 5 fucking skeleton kids. Like
Right.
apparently him and Sally somehow procreated his skeleton DNA and everything else.
Yeah, somehow.
But yeah, that was all in the fucking soundtrack that was released in 93. But none of that made it to fucking screen, which was really, really,
That makes sense. There's got to be a lot of shit like that in movies that you know, that hits the cutting room floor.
sure.
And it's cool that they got it into something. you
Right.
know?
Yeah, and it's fucking weird because I don't know if you'd ever see something like that today, even from Disney of all people. Like Disney, they're so protective of their fucking properties, and
Yeah.
the last thing they ever want to do is admit that they made a fucking mistake, because that's why you're never gonna see. You know how Rogue One like had a massive amount of reshoots, and there's all kinds of fucking footage that was in the trailer that you never saw in the final fucking movie, and you'll never see it on a Blu-ray or anywhere else. Disney, more than any other fucking company, hates admitting mistakes, hates, airing their dirty laundry out anywhere.
Right.
So the fact that with Rogue One, they hired a new fucking director halfway through the fucking movie to finish it, and they reshot all this shit. Or with fucking Solo, for that matter, they'll never admit that, and you'll never see any of that lost fucking footage. So in '93, for them to be so forthcoming with this kind of information was pretty surprising, and it's not something you'll ever see again.
Facts. And it was fucking how long ago? 25,
28 years ago.
28 years ago.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So I've got a bunch of notes that I took as I was watching the movie for a second time.
Shoot him.
I don't know if you want to hear any of this, but so we talk about like the different holidays and everything and where holidays come from. And the fact that there's very little dialogue. It's such an interesting way to approach the story, right? You live in Halloween Town. Everything that you do revolves around this one day of the year,
Right.
and you don't even question any of it. Like all the citizens of Halloween Town, they don't question it, except for Jack, who is in his like fucking like midlife depression or whatever. And one night after fucking Halloween, he just starts walking into the fucking forest, and he stumbles upon this portal room basically to all the different holidays. Nobody else has ever walked into the fucking forest this far to find this. Everybody is just so content in their little bubble.
Well, didn't Zero like kind of open it?
Well,
Like,
I mean, Zero went with Jack.
No, I thought there was I don't know, I'm trying to think. Somebody's Chantel, who's seen the movie probably way more times than I have.
Yeah, I've only seen it twice ever in my life, so
So-
you'll have to forgive me.
I thought that Zero, like, that Jack was like had thrown something, and Zero kind of went into the woods, and that's when like the portal was like found, and then Jack went into that, and the next thing you know, he wakes up.
Well,
and he's in like this new forest.
No, so he's like kind of like in a depression right after Halloween. He's walking through the forest, and Zero is kind of like at his side, and he's just walking like head down, just kind of like roaming endlessly until he comes across this like fucking this spot where all of the holiday sections meet. And Zero was kind of like right there with him when the Christmas one opened up, but like he looked over at the Christmas one, and it was a Christmas tree was the door.
Okay.
And he's immediately enamored by the lights, because that was the thing about Christmas. He loved the brightness and the lights and the colors,
Right.
and everything. And especially when he goes through the portal and you get the what's this? There's music in the air. So yeah,
Shit that's gonna get stuck in your head for the fucking next week and a half.
yeah, indeed. But yeah, so he stumbles across this, and it's you think about all of these different holidays, and they're all kind of just like stuck in their own worlds, and they don't ever think about what's outside of their little bubbles, which is an interesting take, and I'm sure you could read pretty deep into that. But he stumbles into Christmas Town, and to me, this was my favorite part of the whole movie, was the what's this song and him kind of exploring, because again, this is to me, Jack is so Gen X. He's so disillusioned with everything that's going on in his life, and he's like, there's got to be something more, there's got to be something else. I feel like an outsider. I'm just fucking wandering aimlessly into the fucking woods, and then I come across this new thing. It's like so bright, it's like, oh shit, this is fucking awesome. So I really, really enjoyed that segment of this movie.
So the end, fast forwarding a bit, but so that disillusionment and finding something that's newer and shinier, and then like pursuing that, and then having that crash around you, and then realizing that, wait, I didn't this wasn't as good as what I was leaving, so I'm going to go back to that and appreciate it more.
Right, and the fact that like the thing that I came from, that's what I was good at.
Right.
That's what I knew. And even as again, we're skipping way ahead, but as Jack is, he decides like, no, we're doing Christmas this year.
Right.
He tells the rest of Halloween Town, and they're like, they're hard at work and everything, and they're creating these like new fucking toys and all this, and the whole time it's all got a Halloween twist to it.
Mm-hmm.
Even when he starts delivering the presents and everything, he thinks he's doing like this great Christmas thing, but at the end of the day, it's still all creepy, scary, Halloween themed things going on. Even though he thinks he's getting into the Christmas spirit, but at the end of the day, he's still all about the Halloween.
Right.
But yeah, it was so interesting kind of seeing that and the way Tim Burton kind of put that on film. And I don't know, the contrast between Halloween and Christmas, it's like two polar opposites, and the guy from Halloween really wants to embrace the Christmas, but he can't shed his Halloween past.
But he doesn't know why. That's the biggest thing. Like, why am I drawn to this? What makes this something that I am coveting, right?
Mm.
So he's trying this, like, oh, here's this toys. We're building toys. We're going down chimneys, and we're giving kids stuff, but not really picking up what is supposed to be laying down to what makes Christmas Christmas.
Right.
But going through, like, the motions.
Yeah. And he wants that, but he doesn't really understand the bigger picture. And also on the side, you've got all of Halloween Town. Like, I love the whole fucking aesthetic of Halloween Town.
Right.
We talked about that before. How is this Halloween Town, or even this whole fucking movie, how is this not a fucking ride at a Disney park? Explain that to me. Everything about this movie screams a fucking ride at either Disneyland or Disney World or both or whatever, and nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like, I am, it's very well documented. Jason Roskam is a huge Disneyland fucking mark. Like, I love Disneyland. Been there many, many times. I would fucking live in Anaheim if I could, with an annual pass for Disneyland, and I would just go every fucking day. This whole movie, as a Disney movie, screams fucking theme park ride. Nowhere in any Disney park is this a fucking ride.
Well,
how?
It doesn't appeal to anybody but us. It doesn't appeal to I don't think it's not hitting the market segment that they want. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, the people that are appreciating this movie, they are the, not the tweeners, that's not the right word, but it's that hey, I'm not really on board with the full-fledged, like, getting into the Christmas spirit. I'm not making cookies every fucking weekend.
Right.
I'm not wearing a Santa hat everywhere the fuck I go. I don't sing Christmas carols. Like, I like Halloween way more than I like fucking Christmas. And this movie kind of like is a bridge that I can be in the Christmas spirit by being a part of this movie. Right, which gets into that fucking Christmas movie Halloween bit. Right,
it's the darker embracing of the Christmas spirit.
I can kind of engage in that bit of me that like is like, here's my dark side, but I can still, like, hey, it's Christmas though. Ha! Yeah. See, it's a skull and shit, but here I got a Christmas hat on it because it's this movie, right? That market segment's very small compared to the larger market segment, so they're going to do much better off having a ride geared towards I don't know, Toy Story, or
true, and that's all like non-denominational too, right? Because I'm sure in 2021, the last thing Disney wants to embrace is something that's Christmas specific, right? That has Christmas in the title, and
I'm sure.
So, but I mean, to me, this just screams like, why was this never made into any kind of a ride at any Disney park? I don't get it, because this is like a Disney ride on fucking screen. And Chantal, by the way, in the chat, she's been all about Nightmare Before Christmas. She talked about how her first tattoo was fucking Jack Skellington, which is awesome. Yeah, she took a picture with Jack at Disneyland Paris, which I've never been to any Disney park outside of the United States. But some other things I had notes on. There was some static going on, like white noise. Who was that?
That was Nick.
I don't know.
You want a receipt?
Sure. I'm sure that was a massive click for the listening audience.
Nah, well, we'll see if that fixes it.
Anyway. Fuck. I lost my train of thought. Thanks. Oh, I lost it.
That one was across the board.
Yeah.
Like
Totally lost it. For everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. So outside of the Disney ride rant and everything else, I loved Jack's reaction and his, like, what he brought back to Halloween Town after, you know, he went to Christmas Town. He's like, fuck, I've seen this new thing. It's crazy. We get this montage of him, like, doing experiments, like dipping fucking candy canes in acid to see what happens. There's this one scene that I think is so funny where he's got a chalkboard up, right? And he's doing all these equations. He's doing like the scientific method. And there's this one equation. It's like chestnuts over open fire in parentheses divided by bells times 12 over the square root of December 25th.
Yep.
Plus Sandy times claws equals Christmas? Question mark. It's just, it's so interesting the way he's like, he's trying to figure out like what is so special about this Christmas and why am I so attracted to it? Why is it the way that it is?
Yeah, I saw that too. I wish I'd taken a screenshot of it.
Yeah. But yeah, I wrote the whole thing down and backtracking a little bit. There's one fucking line that I thought was hilarious. Otho, the mayor of Halloween Town, in one line, after Jack had disappeared, said, "I'm only an elected official. I can't make decisions by myself."
Yeah. It's
What a quote.
It's literally like he's got the plans for the next Halloween 365 days later, and he has to have it done right now.
Yeah.
Because that's all, like you said, that's all they do. It's Halloween, and it's prepping for the next Halloween.
Mm-hmm. And again, that's the monotonous life that Jack has kind of grown disillusioned with and everything else.
He's obviously worked at a store. That's all they do.
And play Beach Boys Christmas music and
just listen to Christmas music nonstop.
Yeah.
over. Excuse me. And look at Christmas trees and fucking Christmas lights and wrap gifts, ornaments. Fucking.
So we haven't talked much
lights.
about Sally, Catherine O'Hara.
Right.
Like, what do you think of her character? I feel like she's kind of she's almost like the audience in this movie. You know, she's kind of the outsider looking in, kind of understanding that, like, I don't know if you taking over Christmas is really the best thing.
Right.
She's also kind of the heart of the movie because of her, like, I don't know, attraction to Jack.
Yeah, heart of the movie's probably close because honestly, without her, you probably don't have the sequence where she's screaming and Jack comes and saves the both of them,
right?
Like with her and Santa, because fucking bag of bugs.
Oogie Boogie, which my note for him was cocaine's a hell of a drug. That whole Oogie Boogie sequence with the fucking black lights and him and the fucking like the burlap sack and everything, somebody was on some major fucking drugs for this thing. Like,
dude, I don't know what fucking drugs you'd have to be on. So just to do a movie like this, right? With this fucking stop motion, I would fucking probably start murdering people after day like 3 of trying to reposition. Like, okay, next and reposition,
right?
Okay, next,
and that's the thing that we
reposition.
haven't even like really touched on is the stop motion animation.
Everyone's dying. I'm killing everybody fuck
Be-
you,
yeah,
fuck them, fuck
because this
everyone.
movie took 2.5 years to make.
Fuck.
2.5 years of fucking. All right, next, Jack's leg is gonna go up 1 millimeter. Click. All right, and another millimeter. Click.
It's fucking
And
brilliant.
another.
It's
Click.
like,
It looks fantastic.
it's such good film work.
Yeah.
It really, really is. Like, because you have this real element to it, and there's depth.
Oh, yeah.
There's depth to, like, when you're looking at the fucking character, like, there's this dimension to it that you just wouldn't get if it was hand drawn or anything else.
It's that tangible factor.
Yeah, and you're like, all the movements, like, what you get with stop motion is you get this. This is a real thing, and this is a real thing that's moving. And what I like, for me with this movie, the things that I appreciate the most are this is a film that you probably would never see made again.
No, because it would all be CG at this point.
you
Nobody would ever make a traditional stop motion movie like this.
With the entirety of that, not unless you're in fucking film school or something.
Yeah.
But a big budget, big director to fucking make a movie like this, it's fucking, nobody would do it.
Yeah.
You know, maybe the South Park guys would do it because
Right.
they do a bunch of drugs and fucking that would slow their brains down to the point where they could fucking make this, or they pay people money to do it.
Right. And I mean, honestly, like the guys who made this probably had to be on like both fucking Adderall and cocaine. That's the only thing that makes sense, right? They had the fucking Adderall so they could stay focused, and the cocaine so they could like keep doing it. Like, oh, this is great. This is going to be fucking brilliant. Let's move Jack's leg another millimeter. Take a picture. Oh, do it again. Do it again.
Chantel was saying that they had multiple Jack heads to make it easier to film. So I guess you just fucking pop one head off and put another one on.
But even then, man.
Even then, it's
you
the
think,
monotony of it.
Oh, I couldn't do it.
But it's beautiful. Like,
it looks fantastic.
The end result, like, even if you're not into the story, right? You know, if you can be like a Bronco Fed who's, I don't think is really likes this movie.
He doesn't like anything. He doesn't like this movie. He doesn't like 60s music. He doesn't like anything.
Right.
So
And we love you, Bronco Fed. You're here. This is what you're here for. But the idea, like, this movie is something like you're just not going to see it anymore.
No.
Like, nobody's going to take the time to make a full feature length movie like this. Fact is, there was another movie. I can't think of it, but there was another feature length stop motion.
Wallace and Gromit.
No, that one.
James and the Giant Peach.
James, that came a little bit later. It was this
same director, by the way.
Yeah, it wasn't James and Giant Peach. In fact, I have pictures of it that when we went to Disney World in some time with the kids, 2000 was after I had a hernia surgery. I don't know, 2011, 2012, something like that.
Sure.
But we went down for the we went to
Coraline.
That's probably it.
Thanks, Chantal.
Yeah. They had the characters.
She's got our back.
Yes, thank you. This is why the chat is brilliant, because you are brilliant, and we are here we're the puppets to entertain you.
Right.
No, but they had the actual characters, like
they had like
they had like
the physical displayed. Like dolls that they would
Yep.
use to make the movie.
And that movie had come out more recently, so there's some that are a little bit more recent than 1993. But again, it's like
still few and far between.
Very, very few and far between, and it's just absolutely it's a masterpiece of that type of filming, and I think that you have to watch it and appreciate it just for that. Mm-hmm. There's this musical element that, quite frankly, who the fuck is going to do that? Like, we're not only going to do the stop motion, but we're going to have it be a musical.
Mm-hmm. That's predominantly music.
Right. And we're going to take this Halloween, and we're going to have this like basically black and white, right? We're going to have this very, very, this dark and sullen fucking backdrop.
Yep.
And then mix it with this bright, colorful Christmas backdrop.
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point have the two overlap.
Right.
And make this all work with stop motion. And oh, by the way, it's going to take us almost 3 years to make it.
Yeah, and they did. And so much to unwrap with that. I don't know if you've noticed. Like, did you rewatch it fairly recently.
Pieces of it.
There are so many characters and so many things that happen with this. I'm like, that's from Beetlejuice. There are so many like snakes, like striped, like snake type characters and everything. I'm like, that's the fucking sandworm from Beetlejuice, where there's so much Tim Burton influence.
Yeah,
you can see with a lot of the shit going on.
When I was reading some stuff where it did talk about that, where there were some like kind of repeat things that were in there, which makes sense. I mean,
and that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have no issue with that.
Why would you not do that?
Yeah, but and basically what I'm saying, as somebody who had never seen this movie, it was so familiar to me as I was watching it this time, because I was very familiar with Beetlejuice and all of the other Tim Burton, fever dreams going on out
Right.
there. That it all seemed very familiar to me as I'm watching it. But shifting back to my notes, there was one moment where they were having kind of like a launch party, right? Where Jack had convinced Halloween Town, we're doing Christmas this year.
Right.
We're fucking kidnapping Santa, or we're putting him in a comfortable place, and we're taking over Christmas this year. And they're making all the toys and everything that has like the Halloween twist. And then they have like their launch party right before he goes off on the fucking sled and everything. And he's in the fucking coffin, and he comes up in like the very Dracula like pose as he's like standing straight up, and he's in the fucking Santa costume, which I think is hilarious. And then fucking Otho the mayor is like reading
on the thing.
Yeah, his induction, and he's just got this big grin on his face as he's listening. I'm like, that's fucking hilarious. Just watching that whole thing play out, I thought it was fucking great. And then, of course, you have the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer moment where the fog comes in, and then one foggy Christmas Eve, Jack came to say, Zero with your nose so bright. And, he got Zero to fucking lead the sleigh and everything else.
And it almost like, it's almost beat for beat for that. When it really was like, oh, wow, okay, here we go with the fucking Rudolph.
And that goes back to Tim Burton's influence, right? Because all of this was influenced by the Santa Claus and the fucking Frosty the Snowman and the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer shorts that he would watch as a kid. And then fucking Jack goes off and he starts doing his present delivery. That's when we get the, what did Santa bring you this year?
Right.
Ah! Fucking so many great scenes there. But then as the town is catching on, like what the fuck is going on, the military shoots his ass fucking down, which I thought was hilarious.
The representation of anti-aircraft guns is like, okay.
Sure.
That happened. That escalated quickly.
I know.
It's
I think I even wrote that. Like, wow, that progressed very fast.
That's like, wow, here we go.
Yeah.
Fucking.
And of course, they shoot him down, and he lands in a fucking cemetery. Of course,
like you do,
right into the arms of a fucking statue angel. Yeah. And then he realized, like, oh, I fucked up.
Yeah, anti-aircraft guns. He fucked up as he's falling. He's falling down to the cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
The anti-aircraft guns. The aiming of said anti-aircraft guns, like this, it's just the fucking, it's the military nerd in me. It's just like, oh god, really, this is what we're gonna do.
Well,
These
of course, and then
long ass dramatic fucking barrels, like for like, oh god. Guys.
But then of course Jack's like, oh shit, they're actually shooting at us.
Right. Yeah, he's holding on to like some burning debris, like, oh fuck.
Yeah, he's like, he thought they were like fireworks.
Initially,
or something
they're celebrating because we're doing such a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. That part of it was fun.
And then of course there was the one scene where he goes, the first house he goes into, the one with the fucking head and everything, but he's like hanging up the stockings and doing all that, and the kid comes in and he turns around, and of course it's so creepy looking, and then he gets right into the kid's face. He's like, Merry Christmas, and it's like the fucking Jack face, like right there.
Yeah.
I fucking love that much.
Like, how did they get that shot? Did they take the camera and just be like,
they had to have, right?
That fucking just closer,
and just like his face just got right in that kid's face. He's like, Merry Christmas.
Hello there.
What do you want this year?
What is your name?
Yeah, and the kid's just like,
oh god.
Like not sure what the fuck to think.
Santa skull. Oh
but I think scenes like that are so fucking brilliant in this movie.
That's what they want. That's what he wants. That's
so
what
entertaining.
You to do.
Yep. And then we get this whole thing where Santa's like Oogie Boogie like has Santa captured in his little fucking black light layer of fucking drugs. And like Jack goes back, and between him and Sally, they get Santa out. Blah blah blah. We have this really cool montage that you talked about, where they do the "This Is Halloween" mixed with the "What's This" song,
Right.
where like the two songs kind of like converge, and it's a really good finale.
Before we even got to that, I like the bit where Santa, like when he's getting released, he's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
Like you're just waiting for him to drop a fucking F-bomb."
Yeah.
He's like, Jack is like, "Well, is it too late?" He's like, "No, of course it's not too late. I'm fucking Santa Claus."
Yeah.
Like, takes the fuck off. But he's just like, he gets his shackles off. He's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Yeah, pretty
God,
much.
get me the fuck out of here." Not like, "Oh, thank you for saving me." Nope. But I was like, "Dude, you
It's
people
like,
are
are you out of
fucked
your
up."
fucking minds?
Yeah.
Like seriously.
Like, that was actually my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was really good. But yeah, we get this really good convergence of the "This Is Halloween" and the "What's This" song. And it kind of ends with Jack and Sally kind of having this real close moment, because throughout the whole course of the movie, Sally's like enamored with Jack, right? As any woman should be with a man, very enamored with them. And, like it all finally kind of comes to fruition, where they're kind of a couple, even though it's hard to kind of discern, like, are they a couple or are they just really good friends? Whatever.
In the song, he says, like, close friend or whatever.
Right, yeah, because, he insinuates.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Jack's very non-committal. I mean, it might have, maybe Jack is the one that fucking slipped off the Titanic. Maybe he's still a little bitter that he fucking, there was
plenty of room for me on that fucking piece of wood.
Exactly. I could have got on that fucking piece of flotsam there, you fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So.
Sexual tension there, obviously.
Right.
Obviously, he had a bone to give, and, she was soft. Anyway. What?
And yeah, so the movie kind of ends.
Diet Cokes are strong this evening.
Yeah, but I mean, kind of going back, like I see why this movie has such a following, especially amongst people of our generation. I loved it. Absolutely love this movie, and I cannot wait to make this part of my annual holiday movie going or movie watching experience.
So that's what I wanted to know. Because I can see you in particular, like, it was surprising to me that you hadn't seen this movie, because I could picture you and Kristen as like the Jack and Sally, right? I could picture Jason dressing up as Jack,
and I totally would from here on out,
and Kristen as Sally, and doing that as your Christmas, right? I could totally picture that.
And she loves Sally, by the way.
Yeah,
like she did like this whole massive cross stitching project that was Sally, and she like spent over a year on it. I think.
Yeah. And the fact is, I can't believe that she hasn't had you watch this thing, somehow manipulated you to watch it sooner.
Yeah, and normally, like she does, like she made me watch the fucking cutting edge of all movies, right? Because it's about figure skating. She loves figure skating. She made me watch that movie years ago, right? Wow. Even though that's a movie that I would never have watched by myself.
Interesting.
She made me watch it, but yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas, just again, never happened. Slipped through the cracks. Yeah. Just one of those things that just didn't manifest.
No, I'm not surprised that you picked up this movie, because I really felt like it was right in your wheelhouse.
I loved it.
Of being something that this is Jason's.
This is Jason Roskam. This is Jason Roskam.
Yeah, what was the one song? He sings a song where it's like he's super like, yeah, I'm the best at this, but obviously, I'm number one. I know I am, but fuck, this is
that really does sound like me, doesn't it?
Does.
Yeah,
God,
like I'm the best.
Right.
But I'm still looking for something
but,
more.
I could be doing something more. I could go fuck something else up, and then come back to this other thing that I don't fuck up as bad. So yeah, but dude, that's awesome. I can totally see it.
Yeah. And
like I said, for me, this movie, like this isn't like a big thing for me. Like I totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
I can see the appeal. I enjoy the movie. I think but I enjoy it because I think it's nice. I think it's a good, I think it's a great stop motion movie
Mm-hmm.
with that has this musical element. The Danny Elfman bit, nice shot. The Danny Elfman soundtrack
Yep.
is excellent. I'm not a huge fan of it being just nonstop musical.
Yeah, and that was tough to embrace at first, but
But aesthetically and with the score, it makes up for it. Like I want to just sit there and watch it because it's just there's so many little elements throughout the whole thing. You can look at different things throughout.
oh
throughout
yeah,
the
there's
movie.
so many little hidden
Yeah,
things and
because
like stuff that we didn't even touch on.
Yeah, and because it's a real thing, you know that those elements are there.
Oh yeah,
Like that there's these little things that are probably they're hiding in there, waiting for you to find. And I think it's like it's a lost art
yeah.
that maybe not completely lost yet, but I really don't see a movie like this being made anymore. Not with technology being the way it is.
But yeah, being so labor intensive.
Yeah.
That it is.
Yeah,
You can't imagine.
It would cost a lot of money, a lot of studio time, although it probably doesn't have a large footprint. But it requires people.
Well, they said that this movie was filmed in one of the more famous Disney studio sound stages.
Oh, really?
So yeah, like they took up a whole sound stage to make this movie.
Wow.
And again, for 2.5 years, that's a long fucking time.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, I'm.
now, do you have a favorite song from this? Because that's the last thing I wanted to really touch on before we move on.
I couldn't tell you the. I don't know the names of the individual songs
so
enough to.
The two that stick out to me really are the "This Is Halloween," the one of the first songs in the movie, and then the "What's This" when Jack goes into Christmas Land. To me, "What's This" is like my favorite song in this because you get a lot of that Danny Elfman orchestration in the background, and if you really listen to it, you put on some headphones, turn off the lights, and you listen to the instruments playing in the background and everything. Aside from his vocals, beautiful music. So that's my favorite track in this whole soundtrack. This Is Halloween is a very close second, though.
I'm not a fan of This Is Halloween. I think it's part of that repetitiveness.
It is repetitive. It's sort of like the da 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 the one Christmas song.
Yeah.
Da 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 da.
What's the fuck? There's some joke to that.
Yeah.
No, I honestly I think that first iteration of What's This is probably
Yeah.
if I had to pick one, I think that was it.
It's great. And
There's,
again,
there's a couple of songs that I think are good in parts. But that one, just the entirety of that piece, I think is probably the best one.
yeah, and I would recommend to anybody if you're going to listen to the soundtrack, like really listen to it. Like put on some headphones, listen to the instruments and everything playing in the background.
Listen, any movie that you're going to watch that has a composed score, right? Not a fucking band, not borrowed music from other things. A composed score is worth you sitting and listening to because there are going to be elements to that if it's done right, which most of the time it is. I mean, there's very, very few times, except for like Rogue One, that you're going to have a score that just doesn't seem to fit the movie.
Yeah.
And fucking take the time to sit there and listen to the score. But saying that, I 100% appreciate, not that somebody else doesn't, but I'm like super into the fucking classical music portion of that. Like those elements, like Gershwin, Tchaikovsky, like
I was a big Beethoven guy.
Beethoven, into the Beethoven.
Yeah.
It's funny, kind of sidebarring. One of the quiz questions that was at our Squadron holiday party, it was talking about what movie made the Nutcracker suite popular in America, and that's Fantasia, right? Fantasia is one of my all-time favorite movies. And that
well documented.
And Fantasia, for me, is one of those introductory, like, hey, do you want to have an introduction to some amazing pieces of classical music. Here it is.
So it's funny you mentioned that. You know what my introductory into classical music was? A Clockwork Orange. Imagine watching that as like a fucking 8-year-old kid for the first time.
You should not have been watching that movie.
No,
as
of course
an 8-year-old
not.
child.
Of course not. But
God.
But you know, it's whatever. Real quick in the chat,
Debbie. Jeez.
Chantal and Dragon Buddy and a couple other people mentioned the Oogie Boogie song. That's the one that I said like cocaine's a hell of a drug. Yo, that song it was good. I was very entertained by it. But yeah, that was one of those fucking psychedelic. Let's take some LSD and see what the fucking spirits tell us.
Yeah.
Kind of songs. And then the Sally song too was really good. Very emotional, And Catherine O'Hara, she sang that whole song too.
Yeah, look. Yeah. Gershwin.
What kind of question is that?
Look. I think there are some pieces that were probably more jazz than would be considered classical. Yeah. But my favorite Gershwin piece is Rhapsody in Blue.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of on that borderline, but it's a fucking phenomenal piece.
Borderline, I love that song.
And I will fight a motherfucker if they want to fucking talk shit on that.
Over the borderline.
I will throw hands.
Borderline.
Anyway.
So
Singing in the Rain will never sound the same again.
Anyway. Yeah, Singing in the Rain. Oh, jeez. I'm singing, and then just sing, and then
Anyway,
anything else before we close this up?
No, I think I'm glad that you were in 2021. You were introduced to a new holiday favorite.
Yeah, a new 28-year-old holiday favorite.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I enjoyed it.
You can add it to your playlist with a Muppet Christmas Carol, and
yes. And by the way, free to play on Disney Plus.
Yes,
A Nightmare Before Christmas. So,
absolutely,
being a Disney movie. So,
whoa. Gershwin isn't old enough to be classical. What?
Why does there have to be an age limit to classical?
That is the...
I mean, I'd consider John Williams to be kind of a classical style musician.
Is classical music.
Yeah.
It is a genre. It's not a time frame.
Yes, I agree. Anyway, we'll put a pin in that because we're running long and we want to close this up. Next week, we've pivoted a little bit from what we were originally going to do.
Yes.
Next week, we were supposed to do Howard the Duck, but some new information came to our attention.
Yes.
And next week, instead, we are going to talk about the 30th anniversary of one of the greatest video games ever made, Tecmo Super Bowl.
Tecmo Super Bowl.
Yes. Not to be confused with Tecmo Bowl, which a bunch of you fucking idiots, and we'll get into it next week, think that the original Tecmo Bowl, it's like, oh yeah, I love that game. No, you didn't love Tecmo Bowl.
No, you didn't.
Tecmo Bowl was hot garbage. Tecmo Super Bowl was the godfather to what you now know in your Madden games and everything else. But Tecmo Bowl sucked. Tecmo Super Bowl was the originator. And we're going to talk about that next week in great detail.
Right. And it's going to be great. Especially, and if you haven't already, there's an app free to play called Retro Bowl.
Yes.
That is actually a lot of fun. And I'm now in my Retro Bowl. Fucking Nick Svensson got me playing this. I'm in year 11 already. So, and I won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, and then I lost the Super Bowl and left and went to the Miami Dolphins, and then took a couple years, went to the Super Bowl with the Dolphins, lost that one, said fuck it. The Eagles wanted me back, so now I'm back with the Eagles.
Nice.
So it was fucking.
And we're gonna talk about how many years I spent playing like Madden 2005 because that was kind of like the pinnacle of my football video games.
Oh god, and listen, when we're talking about Tecmo Super Bowl, it's probably going to tee off a conversation about the modern era of.
Oh yeah, but we're also
games.
going to go really deep into the rosters of the time. The rosters from 30 years ago because Oh man, like
Hell.
you and I both have a lot of people to talk about
Hells to the
with
yeah.
our teams
Yes.
in those games.
So, sports alert for those of you that watch us that not really enjoying that don't enjoy our football talk necessarily. Yes, this is a video game conversation. If you're not into the sports side of our podcast, tune into one of our other weeks. Rewatch one of our previous episodes, or stay tuned for our James Webb episode, which is going to be coming
in 2 weeks. And it's going to be
after the successful launch of the James Webb Telescope. Yeah, I knocked wood.
Fingers fucking crossed, chanting to God and.
So we're ready for the reads.
Well, yeah, go for it. And while you're doing that, I'm going to take a quick break.
You're going to do that. And hey, did we have 5-star reviews, by the way?
We did not. I checked.
Woohoo! All right. So let's talk Red 5. We got a lot of Red 5ers. We got the Red 5 Network by name here in the chat. Thank you very much, Red 5 Network. Luna Girl, we're representing the Sidebar Cantina on a couple of podcasts later this week. Check out Press Play Streaming Studios live on Thursday night at 19:30, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for you civilians, where they will be discussing their favorite Rankin Bass Christmas claymation classics. Oh, brilliant. I love it. I fucking love it. You can see her again on Sunday afternoon at 1600, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Galaxy of Queers, where she will be joined by Podfather Roe, who is also in the chat, Red 5, to roast the Star Wars Holiday Special. Join in on these live chats on YouTube. Show her and our Red 5 family some love. Reading is fundamental, kids. Again, Quantum Shift. It's a Tuesday. Sorry. As you know, Luna Girl has been sharing daily Red 5 live stream schedules on the socials. There are 33 amazing podcasts, including ours, in the Red 5 network, and literally something for every personality. For the complete list, visit bio.link/red5. That's bio.link/red5.
See.
3PO. Coming up later tonight, Rogue One Radio will be celebrating the 5-year anniversary of Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Fucking 5 years that movie's been out? Holy shit.
Because we started this podcast the year after that.
Fucking.
We started this podcast the year of Last Jedi, which came a year after Rogue One. We were so excited for the future.
Coming up later tonight, Rogue One Radio will be celebrating the 5-year anniversary of Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Join Steve, DJ, and Nicole in their live chat at 2000 or 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. At 2100, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Ro from the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast will be hosting a Scarif Live with the gang from inside the booth. Hop in their chat and tell them the Sidebar sent you. And I'm going to repeat that we want to wish a very happy 5-year anniversary to WSTR Media, well as congratulations on your 250th episode. WSTR celebrated last night with a 2-hour episode. The chat was full of Red 5 love and good times were had by all. # we are the Red
5.
We are Red 5
Network.
For us, you can wait. Not us yet. I got to reorder this. I got to reorder it. Sorry, Luna Girl. For our Cantina family, who are also almost all of us are Red 5ers.
Yep.
Except for Big Swede because he doesn't have a podcast.
Right. He just does YouTube.
Used and Abused Pod live streamed a review of the Christmas classic Elf and the Weekend Racing Recap earlier today. Catch the replays on YouTube or your favorite podcasting app. Which, sidebar, we never really... Where do we fall on whether or not this is the... Nightmare Before Christmas was a Christmas movie
or Halloween? I say both.
Oh, you said both. That's right.
Yeah. I think it's both.
Yeah.
You can enjoy one or the other or both. So.
Yeah. And I think it's a marketing ploy like anything else.
Could be. But, I mean, it was a good marketing ploy.
Yeah.
And they made it work.
It's a marketing ploy for Christmas. But
so, good job. Tim Burton.
It's for both, and I fucking hate it. I hate everything, dude. I hate it when Christmas starts at fucking Halloween. That they can suck a giant bag of dicks.
Suck a dick, suck a dick.
Anyway,
suck a motherfucking dick.
The Booth in the Back returns tomorrow to recap Week 14 of our Fantasy Football League, of which the number 1 and 2 seeds are sitting right.
Yeah, you can see us right here.
Yep, right here,
number 1 and 2,
live on your screens. I can talk a little shit now because I came from the bottom. Now I'm here.
Dave loves coming from the bottom.
Most of the time. Find out who's going to the playoffs. I think
Playoffs?
Join Dondell, Snooch, Brady, Big Lovin', and Luna Girl in the booth at 1800 exclusively on our Sidebar Cantina Facebook page. Also, tomorrow, the Escape Pod Bros are reviewing The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Hey!
So find out where they fall on that argument.
And I'd be curious to hear myself.
Yeah. Well, you could listen to yourself if you listen to this podcast.
No, I want to hear what they think. I know what I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was confusing.
Yeah.
Join Don Del Snooch, Brady Big Lovin', and Dragon Buddy with special guest General Chanobi. Ooh, special guest. The live chat is where it's at tomorrow evening at 19:05, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Why 05?
I don't know.
What's the story behind that?
I don't know. At ATSW the Escape Pod. It's probably so that they can deconfigure from a booth in the back and then set up for...
Give themselves a few minutes of fluff.
Yeah. Wow.
Just spit a lot.
10%.
Yeah.
2 10% beers and the Fireball. That was brilliant.
That's enough.
That's good work.
It gets the job done.
You can also listen later in the week on your favorite streaming app. Big news out of Sweet Studios this week. He's putting the band back together. Nick's original metal band from the early mid-2000s is getting together to re-record some of the songs off their last Inertia album, quarantine session style. It's been 15 years or so. It will take a little time to put things together, but the ball is rolling. I've heard some of the initial stuff that Nick's putting together. It's gonna be really, really good.
Yeah, he's great.
Think of it.
Is there any Paula Abdul in there?
No, this is all.
Then I don't even know why I bother.
This is all original stuff.
Oh, okay.
This was all original music. You can find their stuff. I think you can find them on Spotify.
No shit.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
their album stuff is out there. Look for. You can go on to stay tuned to Slaves for Scores on Instagram and YouTube, as well as Sweet Studios for more details. Slaves for Scores. So yeah,
Doesn't seem very politically correct in today's environment.
It was the mid 2000s,
right, fair enough.
and it's a metal band, so they don't really give a fuck.
Right.
I mean, honestly. So
Fight the power.
It's metal music. It's really good for when it was recorded, and I think with the technology they have now, I think it'll be great. So subscribe to Sweet Studios and you will do it. Orange and Fett Show will be recording episode 10, The Muppet Christmas Carol, the much anticipated Muppet Christmas Carol.
Muppet Christmas Carol or Family Christmas? They already did Family Christmas.
The Muppet
right?
Christmas Carol is
Right.
what the read says. So that's what we're...
Because, I know the Muppet Family Christmas, much like with my family, is big in the Fett family.
But they're going to do... It says Muppet Christmas Carol.
Okay,
So let's go with that. Unless I'm corrected in the chat.
Yeah, well, Bronco Fett is still in the chat, so...
It says quarantine done Thursday. I'm free.
He said Muppet Family Christmas.
Okay, the Muppet Family Christmas stands corrected. In the near future, when Lady Fett is feeling better. Until then, get caught up in some of the past episodes on Spotify. So that's the Orange and Fett Show on Spotify.
Yep.
For us, you can find us on Twitter, Sidebar Cantina. That's all Luna Girl. That's not Jason and I. We don't do Twitter. You can find us on Twitch. Look for the Sidebar Cantina. Facebook, search for the Sidebar Cantina private Facebook group.
Yep.
Answer some questions, and we will let you in. I don't know if there's anybody on standby right now to get in.
No. I think we're still at like 99 members. 99.
On Instagram, we are at the Sidebar Cantina, and you can also join our Discord. Look for the server called the Sidebar Cantina, and honestly, that's the only thing I'm checking semi-religiously because you don't have to have any. There's no issues with censorship there. You don't have to go into this Facebook jail like Jason does.
Which
all the
I was
time.
just released from today.
Yeah.
I'm free.
As far as merch, you can go to Linktree in any of our social media bios and find our merch. We'll take you directly to TeePublic, where you can get all of your holiday shopping done for every nerd in your life. I don't know if you buy it today, whether or not it'll make it by Christmas, but you can still buy it and, whatever. Christmas can be any day you want. Just go to your doorstep and today is Christmas.
What's this? What's this?
There you go. You can find t-shirts, hoodies, and a wide variety of designs, sizes, and colors for the entire family. There's also Sidebar Cantina face masks, tote bags, phone cases, exclusive stickers, and pins. Just about anything you can imagine. Please tag us with your merch so Lunar Girl can share it on the socials.
Yep.
Reviews. Right. It's all caps. Right. Us a 5-star review on your favorite podcasting app. Screenshot it and DM us the pic on Instagram or Twitter. Slow down, Dave. You can write one sentence or an entire page, whatever your heart desires. Lunar Girl will gladly send you some Sidebar Cantina stickers in the mail the next day.
And Dave will suck your dick.
And we will read your review word for word on our next episode.
While
And
Dave sucks your dick.
as an added bonus, if you post your Apple review on Twitter or Instagram and tag us and at Red 5 Network, you can also get an official Red 5 Network button pin. So
Nice.
you have that to look forward to. And that is
Are you
that.
done, finally?
I am done.
All right.
I'm done with the reads.
If you are
Thank you,
watching...
Lunar Girl.
Yeah, thank you, Lunar Girl. If you're watching us on YouTube, stick around for our post show where Kristen is going to feed us some sort of new dessert.
Ooh.
Otherwise...
We're going to be banging mucks.
Yes. Otherwise, thank you for listening to us on the audio version of the podcast. We appreciate you. Leave us a 5-star review. Tune in next week for Tecmo Super Bowl.
Super.
And until next time, Dave and everybody else, go fuck yourself.
Enjoy that fireball. Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Okay, now what do I click?
Whew. It burns once it goes down your throat.
Yeah, that's what she said.
It's just shooting this like hot love right down your throat. And there she is. Like it's like on cue.
It's like she was listening or something.
I know, right?
So many texts.
Episode
Okay. This thing's gonna die,
225
so I'm gonna throw it away.
Raw.
That doesn't
Wait,
heed
what?
she said. What on great googly moogly?
Looks like some kind of cake. Are you leaving? Oh. I say you can't leave at this point. Fuck.
How was the beer?
It was good. So move it. Or just sit next to Dave.
Are you gonna go through it like now?
We went through it on the show.
Oh, wait. No, she mentioned the koosh ball. We gotta do the koosh ball. So
It's just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen right now. Like, why would anyone buy that?
What is happening? What is happening right now?
hold on. Just
I'm gonna eat cake.
Yes, eat cake.
all right. So for those of you still watching, this was one of the
Of all the things to buy.
a Watto fucking koosh ball was in this fucking mukbang of a Star Wars collection.
Wow.
We had some other interesting stuff. What else do we have? Like somebody left just like a black fucking cape in here. Don't know why. Just a black like cape.
Is that his tongue sticking out?
Misa Jar Jar Binks! It's a Jar Jar head that folds into a fucking Naboo little playset. Because, of course it does.
What's this thing?
Oh, that's the fucking little two-legged animals that the Gungans ride. La Queen.
It's like a pre-Funko Pop.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Didn't even see this motherfucker.
Nice. What's
Oh,
up?
it's a battle droid or the Master Destroyers.
And they're never called that again, ever.
Is this from Star Wars? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a fucking. It's from fucking Dagobah. What are you thinking? You're holding the Dagobah. Never mind.
What, this?
Yeah, that's Dagobah, right? I don't know. Whatever.
I don't think so. No, I don't really know.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Halloween. Halloween.
That looks like a scene from Lego Star Wars.
The fuck? Oh, it's Padme. Like, I'm the queen. I'm Padme. I'm the queen. Do I get one of these? Is it? Are we like connected here?
Yes, you're connected.
Okay. There we go. You can always count on Dave to have a knife. Sweet. All right. So what am I dealing with here?
It's cake.
You can eat cake.
I'm gonna move this
The cake is a lie. Are you right over there?
I'm gonna move this out of the way.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
So I really expect to see you and Jason dressed up as Sally
I would
and
love
Jack.
to do that.
Now the question is, how do you actually dress up as those? Because, especially Jack, he's so lanky, right? Like he's like sticks,
I don't know.
basically.
Well, once you
Shave
get
your
back in the
head
gym-
and make your face white. You'll be fine.
It's not cool. Not cool.
I don't think anyone heard me.
Oh, I'm sure somebody did. But yes, lanky Jack. Get the head.
Tell you, just shave your head.
Do you not like me with hair?
No.
Wow.
Strong words.
What do you think?
I like him like this. I like him with the hair.
You're the one that has to live with him.
Wow. I'm really feeling the love tonight, guys.
You should. You're eating cake.
Mm-hmm.
And no, Tom. No pumpkin ramen tonight. Oh my God, that shit was horrific.
Oh God. Oh.
No, no.
Anyway. So fantasy football.
Yeah.
What does the numbers .02 mean to you, Dave?
I went to bed not worrying at all.
You were favored to win by a pretty big margin for the whole weekend.
Well, there's projections are kind of bullshit anyway, right?
They can be, yeah.
But I did not think that I did not see Connor having
John Connor.
a 30-point night. I just didn't see it.
Yeah.
Like, and for Kyler Murray and fucking Connor to have a 30-point night. What's happening?
Yeah, I did it.
It's my water bottle.
I don't give a fuck.
Anyway.
In a losing effort was like, the fuck. I just and Hopkins to fucking have 6 points. You know, it's like, God damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Yeah, no. I really want to thank. It's so funny too because like Lunar Girl is like my greatest rival in this whole fucking league, and she's basically the one that sealed my #1 seed. So,
Yep.
Thank you, Kelly.
And she's also beaten me twice.
Me too.
No.
She's beaten me twice. But again, thanks to the fact that she beat you this time, sealed the top seed for me, which it's really kind of irrelevant at this point.
Yeah.
But I do find it great that you and I secured the top 2 seeds in the league, as we should, because we are better than everybody else.
I like the Bronco Fed has acquired the pumpkin spice ramen and they're going to feed it to the dog for the show Saturday.
I wouldn't eat it if I was a dog.
We'll see what happens.
I'd fucking starve to death. It was disgusting.
Dogs are smart enough to just walk away from it if they're not.
Uh-huh.
It's-
Yeah.
Yeah. I would much rather have had the brownie.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
prefer
bro.
the brownie.
I shouldn't have let you.
Some cake.
I shouldn't have let you had it. I should have saved that for me.
Dude, that brownie was so good.
Brian was banging.
I'll get the brownie again.
Yeah, in fact, I think I'm kind of done.
Are you sure? There's
This is
4
Halloween.
bites left. You had 30 bites.
Where's my water? Water.
Where's your guado? What?
My water. Dame la agua.
I'm pretty sure it's your wife's water.
It's her bottle, but it's the water that I poured into the bottle.
Where's your water bottle?
I left it at work. I'm retarded.
You are, because you drank 2 of those beers and then put Fireball on top of it. That's defined you.
I mean, to be fair, they came in a 6-pack, and there's still 4 of them in my fridge. So I could have brought all 6 of them out.
You're a model of restraint.
And been a fucking just absolute wreck by the end of this evening.
He said,
But
yeah, I'm only having 2 beers tonight. I said, oh, have you learned your lesson?
No.
And he goes, well...
They're 10% beers,
Yeah.
so...
You thought your head hurt today.
What can you do? The good thing is, I work tomorrow, and then I'm off for 4 days after that.
Nice. Yep. So we don't have games this weekend, so we can rest our players.
Yep.
But
like it matters.
yeah.
Like, you know, I'm gonna call Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
Hey, just you know, sit this next week out.
Yeah.
You know, don't play. Rest up for the following week.
We can totally do that.
Which that motherfucker, 40 fucking points.
Nicely on your bench.
Yeah.
But the girls have a little girl on girl action,
Oh yeah.
and then we have the Bulgarian contingent against.
Fucking Keith Lehman, who is a mainstay in our fantasy football playoffs.
Returning champ.
Yep. Well, hey, calm the fuck down, all right? He was the champ 2 years ago.
Still, so he's returning. Right? You return at some point.
I'm
You
going to
were the
return right across your fucking temple.
Really?
Yeah.
Good luck.
The level of disrespect that I get amongst everybody in our fucking league. You know what? Y'all can go suck a dick because I'm going to win again this year. And
You bring it upon yourself.
there's nothing that any of you can do about it.
Debatable.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see who's laughing in 3 weeks.
I'm going to talk really good shit, but the reality is my team isn't good enough to win this league. I'm just happy to be here.
I'm only happy if I win. Anything else is just like pointless. Like really, if you lose any games or if you're anything less than the number 1 seed, then I don't even know why you bother, honestly.
Yeah.
So, especially if you're a woman. Oh my god.
So you're doing a Billy Joel episode, huh?
No, we're whoa.
That's what I heard.
What you got going on there?
I mean, just in case.
Hey, easy.
Right
It's
here.
very sharp.
So, wow, we still got 6 people in the chat.
So you got 6 witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
It's not here.
So small.
If I wind up dead tomorrow,
Penis. So small.
put one of these 2 on the top of the fucking list.
I've got an alibi.
Do you?
Yeah.
Jesus.
PTSD, man.
I don't know if that's an excuse.
You heard my rant earlier.
I did.
That fucking that.
I like how you went from like 0 to 100. And, like, it was
it was so
1 second, it was
fast.
so like
It only-
nice, calm discussion, and then there's all of a sudden like the walls kind of pulse.
I
Like you could hear it from the other room.
really
Because obviously,
it makes me so mad.
obviously iPhones are homophobic.
I
So
it
like,
shouldn't. It really shouldn't make me that mad. But it's a trigger every time I see that fucking commercial.
I've never seen it honestly, so I have no like frame of reference.
Every time.
But it sounds hilarious
They put
listening
it
to
every
you.
fucking commercial break in the NFL. It comes on. I'm just like, I just
But I love hearing it from your perspective. So
oh my god,
I'm angry for you.
so fucking bad.
Good shit.
I have to, yeah. I'm sure cancel culture is going to get me for freaking out about goddamn a telephonic device being inclusive, because that can be a thing. It can't be just pink, because that wouldn't be inclusive.
I guess I just wasn't made for these times.
Yeah, facts. At least it's not good vibrations.
Yeah.
So let me tell you about good vibrations.
As she takes the knife.
We get in the car.
I'm just gonna take this.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We get in the car, and I get the charger first, so I win the music.
Right.
Because I plug my phone in
That's
first.
not how that
That is
works.
how that works. And he said, "Oh, I was gonna charge my phone," and I said, "No, I got there first." So,
Them's the
I'm
rules.
picking the music, right?
Right.
And he goes, "Well, I just want to hear one song." And I said, "As long as it's not good vibrations, it's fine." And then there was a pause, and he goes, "But you've never heard it in the car."
I don't think those were my exact
Yeah,
words.
You've never heard it in the car. So like the unique sounds. Is this in the vault?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm picking up good
Yeah, we know how the song goes.
vibrations.
Yeah.
She's
I'm trying to,
giving me excitations.
Good. Oh yeah, it is on this album.
Hell yeah, it is.
It's on the. This is which one is this?
So it was the Smiley Smile album that they released after Pet Sounds, which there's a whole discussion about the Smile album
on
and,
this
or
hits
the greatest
release.
hits.
Literally what it's called.
This was 20. This was 20
Yeah.
good vibrations. This one.
Oh shit. Well, and Good Vibrations was like their greatest selling single of all time. Again, this was like their first song released after Pet Sounds. But again, like you listen to the shit going on in the background, the woo, the warble, whatever the fuck that instrument was. So good. So good.
This, I mean, look at this album, right? This is the
greatest hits.
This particular greatest hits album. If you look at the tracks that are on there, this is just to piss off Bronco Fett, to bring up 60s music.
Well, you know what? He can suck a dick because I'm really coming around to the Beach Boys. Like I always loved Pet Sounds, but I'm coming around to the rest of their stuff too. So he just needs to deal with it.
So look at the tracks that are on there. Every one of those is fucking money.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading.
Yeah, Joker
Like-
voices.
I Get Around, another song that I kind of took for granted. Though, for Gen Xers, if you saw Fly to the Navigator, I Get Around was a big song on that soundtrack.
Do you know what other movie that?
Yes. The Look Who's Talking.
Yes.
I haven't seen those movies in so long.
Look Who's Talking.
I saw the first two in theaters.
That was like the opening.
With the sperm
Yeah.
going into the egg.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Wow,
That's
it's been
a
a
movie
long
that
time.
I saw way too many times.
Been a long time since them days.
Hang on, when did that fucking movie come out?
It had to have been like 90.
Even I've seen that movie.
Christy Alley. It could have been, because she was like,
She had already been on
yeah, she
Cheers
was on
at that
Cheers,
point.
which
Yeah.
was still young-ish,
Yeah.
and Travolta was
This was pre-Pulp Fiction Travolta.
facts.
Yeah.
If only I had the internet. Look who's talking. 1989.
How close was I? Didn't I say 90?
I
I was almost there.
I didn't hear you say that.
Fuck both of you.
Price is Right rules.
Yeah.
Closest without going over.
Damn it.
Price is Right rules all. How So, how does Price is Right rules always fucking like that is a given? Like
Yeah.
at what point?
Like I can't argue with that.
yeah,
You
at
know,
what point in our like that is the rule,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like it is an unspoken, unwritten rule that Price is Right rules is the default.
Yeah. Because
And
again, growing up as Gen Xers, if you were homesick,
yeah,
you saw Price is Right, or during the summer, you saw Price is Right during the day, and that's just the way it goes.
yeah, and that's like honestly, you have to make sure that doesn't die. Like you have to understand
Mm-hmm.
that these are the rules.
Yeah.
Price is Right rules.
Closest without going over.
Right. You have to make them understand it. Make them understand. Make your children understand. It sounds like really kind of a semi-abusive, but fucking do it.
Yeah. Getting back to the Brian Williams thing,
Being abusive.
Yeah. Sing, motherfucker.
1989 romantic comedy.
Romantic?
Comedy.
I'm thinking more romantic. Like
Sperm
There was-
chasing.
there wasn't a whole lot of like courting in that one. In fact, the sperm that chased the egg wasn't even fucking Travolta's. Like she met him after she had the fucking baby.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Now, if you go to Look Who's Talking 2, when Roseanne Barr entered
Ugh.
the
Awful.
nah.
Awful. Just. Bleh. No. Not good. Just not good.
Saw that in theaters with a guy. He and I went to see it, who ended up being gay. So
Aw.
And
didn't
your-
know at the time.
And your first giveaway wasn't.
Well, my first giveaway should have been the fact that he really loved Paula Abdul, mostly because of her dance moves.
More than you?
You love Paula Abdul.
I
Yeah.
did, but like he would sit me down. He'd be like, "Watch these dance moves," and like we'd be watching them together, and I'd be like, "Okay." He's like, "Oh, look at the way she did this twist
I
and
don't
this."
see much of a difference between him loving Paula
It's
Abdul.
okay, Jason.
Yeah.
It's fine, but I mean, I'm just saying, like,
It's okay. I'll get you a Pixel 6 phone.
good stuff.
Fucking Pixel 6. We gotta go.
Yeah.
I can't.
All
I'm gonna
right.
fucking lose my mind.
It's not even 8 yet, so you can get home and get time to see Kathy and Kate, and
Yes. Yes, indeed.
so go, do it,
Yep.
and we will sign off
Yes, we will.
after we thank everybody who's still sticking around
Yes. Thank you much.
because we love you guys.
Go over and see Lunar Girl in the.
She doing another fucking show today?
Yes. This is why
Of course
was
she is,
Yelling at us.
because she's
for-
everywhere.
She is on. She's heading to Rogue One Radio. So go
Of course
there
she is, because why not? She's fucking. She does every fucking podcast.
at 8:00. Yes, and she represents us well. So
She does, but
Wait.
still,
she represents us better than we do
also true.
on the social medias for sure.
On the social media, as a guest on other shows,
Facts.
she represents us far better than we do.
Factually correct. Just in the live chat. Regardless, them's the rules.
Yes. All right. Thanks, everyone. We're signing off. We'll see you next week. Tecmo Super Bowl. It'll be a fun episode.
Indeed.
Peace, bitches.